Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to this COSA NOSTRA radio production. COSA NOSTRA is a family unit located on allpoetry.com, allpoetry.com, the world's largest poetry community. We want to thank Kevin and the crew for giving us a place to call home and hang our hats. The content and opinions of the people, the callers, and the hosts do not necessarily reflect the beliefs and opinions of COSA NOSTRA ownership and management. Enjoy this COSA NOSTRA programming.
Hello, and welcome to Open Poetry with Boo and Jay. And, man, I just kind of clipped my bed there a little bit. Everything is okay, though, folks. This is Sunday night and in the States, and we are on air, and it's good to hear everybody tonight. And without further ado, let me bring on the boss herself, Boo. Hey, Boo. Boo, are you there? The button, Boo.
One of these days I'd like to start the show without me being on mute. Hello.
Oh, yes. We know. And it's great to have you.
So loud,
Oh, it's okay. Well, we got a bunch of callers online right now, so that's great to see.
That's good.
Let's welcome first of all
I see.
Dave. Hello, Dave.
Hey, you guys, my two favorite folks. Hey.
Hey, Dave.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Boo.
How are you,
And let's
Dave?
I'm pretty good. Can't complain. Actually,
Good.
all those dogs are just about the same.
I'm ready for part 3, Dave.
Well, I got her. It's on there.
All
It's up.
right.
I'm
looking forward to
Yeah.
it.
Dave's got part three, and I got part 5 coming.
There
Far
we
out.
go.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
And let's keep it going and bring on Wayne.
Hello, ladies and gents.
Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Wayne.
Jane. Hi, Wayne.
How you doing, Boo?
How are you?
Hey,
Good?
Wayne.
I'm doing great. Hey, Dave.
Hey.
JCA. Let's rock and roll.
And we're not done yet. Let's welcome Rack.
Racky Poo.
It's Sunday, not Monday. It's Sunday, not Monday.
Hey, Rack.
I thought I said
Japan.
Sunday.
No, I swear you said Monday. I swear you said Monday.
I think I said Sunday,
Yeah.
but if I said Monday, forget about that. It is definitely
He's drunk.
Sunday. It's Monday
He's
to
drunk.
some people, but
Yeah.
No, it's Monday to some people, but to us it's Sunday. I'm getting confused. Thanks for confusing me.
Yeah, I'm going to drink, guys.
All right. And let's keep on going in, surrounding Boo with a bunch of guys, and welcome Headshot.
All right. I got rid of all the chicks.
Oh,
Hey
God.
there.
Boo's pushing everybody away.
We want chicks.
See what I did?
All
Chick
right.
repellent.
Wayne's got to come back. I don't know. Maybe it kicked him out. I don't know. Marius out on the board. Becky out on the board. Azakel out on the board. Great to see you guys. Today we're going to start it off a little bit different. What I'm going to do is bring in a different poet that we normally don't have in. Straight all the way from Nigeria. I'm going to read a little Obanex, and this poem is called To Sleep, and it goes like this. Keeper of subconsciousness, rest in dreams in the head, spare me, I ask, from being separated from wakefulness, that I may behold the nighttime's sable-smeared sky, where the moon, gowned in all its lustrous glint, is praised by the company of gay stars, view on grass a spread nation of fireflies, like fairies, carry in my ears night cries, such as the hoot, the chirp, the croak, such screams may boost the woods charm to raise my soul's wing, that the tune may stay for a while, for a whole night's stint in my breast, have all o'er me the moon's bars, when I tasted all these scenes till daybreak. My head's anew, I let your hand to slake. End poem. Wow, what a picture of the nighttime. What a picture of nature. What a picture to start out the show that we're able to get a hold. Like I said, I love the fact that we have reached over 90 nations around the world, in every continent except Antarctica. And to get kind of a feel of all of what's going on around the world and their perspectives of how they see things. I love this perspective of nature. This is so awesome to see and to hear and to absolutely bring forth. And I love what he did. Dave, what do you think of Obi's poem?
Wow. I was just sitting here going, holy cow. He does a really good job, a really fine job of describing the night. You know, I take a lot of star pictures, and I sit outside at night a lot, especially in the summertime. Not so much in the winter. In the summertime I do. And I as you were reading this, I was recollecting the things that he said about it to my own experience, and he did a really fine job of describing all of that, and it brought all of those memories back to me all over again. And if a writer or a poet can do that, that to me shows their true worth as a writer and a poet and their abilities. And I think that's what we all should do. I think poetry is designed to elicit some sort of an emotional response from someone inside of them. It's not just for information's sake, like a technical manual is or something. The poetry is a kind of a game with language and words and stuff, and it's supposed to affect you one way or another. It'll scare you. It'll make you angry. It'll make you happy. It's silly, some nonsensical. And I think he's got the ability to do all of that. So I really like this. I thought it was excellent.
Excellent. And Rack, what do you think?
Yeah, I enjoy Obi's work. Beautiful visuals. I love how did he put it? Sable stained sky. That was unique. That was beautiful. But the whole thing was beautiful. You know, sitting under the stars and things. You know, you see the world through someone else's eyes. It's always a lovely experience because you know you catch different things. You know, you think about what you see when you look, and you kind of do a little comparison, and you know just the way they describe things even kind of skews your view a little bit, and you know you lends your their vision to you. He did a great job doing that.
Oh, wonderful. And if anybody wants to know, Azakel put it out on the board. The word slake is a verb. It means quench or satisfy one's thirst. So awesome use on that. Wayne, what did you think?
I think this is a wonderful poem, and to see he's got 261 likes on this poem is an amazing feat there. I've never seen that many likes on a poem, I don't think. This is an excellent poem of a beautiful night. He's been in several of my contests, so I got to know him pretty well. He's a great poet, and I'm glad to see him. He's on there tonight, or he's got his poem on there. And ain't like the sound of the hoots and the chirps and the croaks at night. There's music to my ears. He described the nighttime, a beautiful nighttime, wonderfully. Great job with his poem. I liked it.
And Boo, what do you think?
You see, you got 264 likes on that. Holy shit. That in itself is unbelievable. You know, I saw one of his poems the other day. I swear he got 595 likes. I was like, whoa. But, yeah, I think he's talking about nature and, I don't know, maybe nightmares, I think. Maybe waking up from nightmares. I'm not exactly sure, but the wording is beautiful. When the moon groaned and its own lustrous glint is praised in the company of gay stars. That's a beautiful description there. Nice job, and obviously well-liked poem.
You think? I would say so.
Yeah.
All
I've never
right.
seen anybody get 500 likes before.
No kidding. But it's awesome. He did a great job. And I'm so glad he's part of this family as well. So I'm glad that we were able to bring that.
Cheerleader too.
So I think Rack knows a joke. I think Rack knows a joke, and we're going to have to tell it next. So here's a little something from Rack.
A Dirty Joke by Raconteur. They'd been married a long, long time, a mundane couple living an unremarkable life. Even their sex life was boring, but they lived happily as husband and wife. Too shy and reserved to discuss making love, they referred to it as doing the laundry. Thus decorum was achieved in the bedroom, relieving their sexual quandary. Late one night, hubby was feeling amorous. Stroking his loving wife's ear, he cooed, "Do you feel like doing some laundry?" Slapping his hand, she screeched, "Not now, I'm sleeping, dude." Hubby reluctantly rolled over. Awake now, the thought burned in her mind. Slowly, passion overwhelmed her until she no longer felt resigned. "I'm ready to do the laundry now. Please forgive my reprimand." In a dejected tone, he explained, "You're too late, dear. It was a small load, so I did it by hand." End poem.
Oh my God. Oh,
geez. Holla.
Jeez.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. That was something. That was purely something. Amazing job, Rack.
Rack.
I'm speechless on that one. Oh boy. Wayne, what'd you think? What'd you think about that?
Only Rack can read a dirty poem that nice. He had a great mood to it. It's good. It's good poem. Good little joke there. I liked it a lot. Kind of caught me off guard. I hope he didn't create too many suds in his laundry. But it's good job. Good job with that, Rack. I enjoyed it.
You caught Wayne off guard.
And Dave, what do you think?
Oh, that was funny. I really got off on that one. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I have to agree with what Wayne said about it. It's funny as hell. Good job.
And of course, Boo, try to keep it kind of clean.
Kind of clean. Rack, you surprised me there too. I gotta say that was so funny. Oh my God, only you. And then the way you read it was like so, like you were just teasing the whole time while you were reading it. Which was probably the point. And hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? And we all been there, I think. And this is a really, really funny joke. And Rack,
What?
Too late, dear. It was small load, so I did it in my hand. I'm trying to keep it clean. Really funny, Rack.
So.
Made me
All
laugh out
right,
loud for real. You're too cute.
Next up, he's out on the board, and I'm going to change up the direction a little bit. This is a little bit of Marius. So I think we're going to get a little cleaner than what Rack put out. So here we go. This is called "I Woke Up in Autumn."
Wandering through memories, lost among spring's flowers, I woke up in the autumn, surrounded by the golden leaves, melancholically singing a forgotten song.
That is so beautiful. It just is so mellow, relaxing. His voice just brings you into it and puts you at a level just relaxes you and just chills you out and makes you absolutely makes it absolutely wonderful. I think that this is fabulous. Let me get some comments. So Dave, what do you think about it?
Oh, I thought this was great. Yeah, I really did. The first couple of lines there, it says, wandering through memories, lost among spring's flowers. A lot of times when we're outside and we're not really doing anything, we're just kind of walking around, just enjoying being outside like I do up here a lot. And it brings it. You see these little things and these little smells, and they bring back memories to you. And sometimes the flood of those memories is so intense that it makes you go, wow, And it says, I woke up in the autumn surrounded by the golden leaves. Sometimes we kind of do a little time warp thing here, and we kind of forget where we're at, and we get brought back to the present, and that sort of, hits us too, and I think that's what I took away from this poem. I just love this guy's work. He's really good, and, his stuff is always so, I don't know what the word is, excellent, I guess. I don't know, but that doesn't seem to sound very well, but I thought it was really well done. I loved it. I thought it was really pretty.
That's a great word for it. That really
He's so
is.
romantic.
Rack, he really is. Rack, what'd you think?
Yeah, he's got his own canvas and brush, and you could see the images that he paints. It's like walking outside. He's very in touch with nature and romance and things like that. So that has that lilt to it that kind of brings you in, and you feel warm and fuzzy and comfortable. I was wanting it to be longer.
Absolutely. Wayne, what do you think?
There's no better place to wake up in autumn. Autumn does bring back wonderful forgotten songs, and this little poem right here put me in a daydream mood. Wake up, Maggie, I think I've got something to say to you. It's late September and I need to get back to school. That's it. Autumn. I love autumn.
That's it.
All right, and it's great to see Heavenly Angel out on the board. So, Boo, I'm going to have you comment on Marius, and then I'm going to have you read Heavenly Angel for us.
Okay. I think this is really cute. I agree with Rack. Wanted it to be a bit longer because it is so good. Like I always say, he must have the luckiest wife on earth because, he just oozes romance from everything that he does. That's, it's part of who he is, and you could tell that in his writing. I like what he says, melancholy singing a forgotten song. That's just really beautiful. Nice job.
All right. Angel put a warning that this is sensual, Boo, so have fun reading it.
Oh, I suck at reading those. Oh, I'll try. Okay. Private party. Okay. Private party from Heavenly Angel. Soft moonbeams shine through the open window, fall upon the glass reflecting the light. As tonight, he and I are among plans for future together. Private party for just the two of us, alone in each other, in celebration of my being a woman and he being a man, wed in the bands of love. Not just any woman or man, you see, for we belong with each other heart, mind, body, and soul, merged and immersed in another completely, twined to one shining soul in the heavens. This private party will be in honor of the ways we cause each other to lose control, restrained only by our freedom in each other. A primal touch here, a primal touch there, tender yet filled with divine driving needing, a strong passion that burns, a need to feel each other, to roam the depths of each other, with teasing, knowing, phantom fingers, and seductive whispers caressing thoughts, meant only for us, privately all through the night, will bring us to ecstatic release. The precept between the body and the soul, culmination of love making and making love over and over again, to satisfy our pleasures and bring sweet delight to savor on the other's lips, to linger like honey rolled on the tongue, smiling into the face of forever, making our private party last throughout the rest of our lives and beyond home.
Oh, this is absolutely wonderful. The word that you were looking for is prefaces.
Prefaces. Okay. Oops.
Yeah, they'll bring us to ecstatic release, that prefaces between the body and the soul. Yeah, this is fantastic. It's a complete. I've heard the word before. I think it's kind of like a connection.
Oh, okay.
Prefaces.
Prefaces? What?
Prefaces?
The word
I don't
prefaces.
even know.
PREFACE? Prefaces?
No, PREC, precipice.
Okay, that's hanging off the edge. That's a pit, a precipice.
You go, Rack.
Yeah. That's what I thought you were saying.
Dictionary. Thank you, Rack.
Well,
hanging off the edge
that's
is good.
awesome.
You're gonna have an all-night loving
There you
session.
go. Yeah, this is awesome though, because it talks about the fullness and the completeness of the relationship, and not just making love in the physical, but making love all throughout the spiritual, the mental, the soul, just everything within it. And I think that is absolutely an awesome feeling. And I think that Angel brought that out in an amazing way. Let's hear from Rack. What did you think?
Yeah, I like writing like this. It reminds me of a special connection, and she calls it a private party. So that's obviously what she's speaking about. When you're in love with someone, there's things that only they can share with you. So those sidelong glances, and from people from the outside, they look at you and they admire you the same way the person that you love does, but it doesn't mean the same, and they're the ones that are gonna get to share in that special feeling and those special moments, and they're the only one that can do that, and that's what that leads me to think about, because it's part of the icing on the cake, as it were, when you're in a relationship, because those moments are the ones that you treasure, along with all the other ones, obviously, but they're the ones that are meant only for you two. And that's what makes it special. That's the connection that you're exploring that nobody else could really know about. They could imagine. They could be jealous of it, certainly, but it's only for them. That's why it's a private party, and that's the message that I'm getting. Beautifully done.
Well, let's open up our party here, and let's bring in Becky. Hello, Becky. Welcome to the show.
Hi, y'all.
Hey, Rebecca.
Hey. Party time.
Party time.
You like that kind of party? Becky likes that kind of party. Becky likes that kind of party.
Awesome. And let me get a comment.
Hi, Becky.
Let me get a comment for Angel from Wayne.
Yeah, I'll be glad to comment. I just said to her, I said, your love never ceases to amaze me. This wasn't naughty at all. It just oozes with love and commitment. I bet you wake up in the morning with a romantic violin playing in your head. I yearn to give and feel the degree of love that you have. You're a lucky gal and he a lucky guy, and I appreciate it a whole lot for this poem. Thank you, Heavenly. Good job.
And Boo, what'd you think?
This is my kind of party. That's what I think. And I think that it's true. I agree with what Rack said. When you share something with someone on a whole other level, it's not just the love making, like you said, that helps, that adds to it, but this is the kind of connection, intimacy that's hard to find, that if you do find it, you should hold on to it, because it's what we all search for. And actually, I think it's one of her best poems yet, actually, just the intimacy and the beauty of it. And Great job.
And Dave, I'm going to ask you last, and then we're going to put your poem on the board.
Okay. I just took my mute button off. Anyway, yeah, this is really beautiful. It's hard. Some people have a hard time writing sensual stuff without it being a lot of smutty tripping stones that step around and kind of go, ooh, when you read it. She's really eloquent in words or poems, and I agree with what Boo said. I think this is one of her best. I really like this. It's real classy, and it shows what kind of a heart this lady has, and anybody that has her love is a lucky individual, and they should hold on to it. So I thought it was really, really beautiful. I liked it.
Awesome. And Dave, your poem, chapter 3 is on the board.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, Boo. You missed the last one, so no, miss this one.
No.
This one is chapter 3, and yeah, you did. This one's called Chapter 3, eHarmony Tales, the Lady with the Fruit Loop Band. Now, this woman in the picture here is holding a hurdy-gurdy machine, and they have strings on the top part of them there. So you'll see why I said that when the poem gets rolling here. As profile pics goes, she didn't look half bad, middle-aged probably, buff out pretty goodly. She seemed interested in me. What the hell did I know? My picture, WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get. I guess she liked what she got, or so I thought. Hard to figure some of these enigmas without developing your own stigmas. So I thought, what the hell? I'll just play William Tell. Aim my arrows at her front door. More bullshit into my cup she'd pour. But you just never know for sure if they're real or just another bore. She wanted me to meet her for lunch, the eHarmony for lunch bunch. I drove over to the restaurant Mumpy's. When I found her, she's thin and a little dumpy. In the middle of my good hamburger, she said to me, I don't feel any sparks between us, you see. The queen of rhetorical statements, what do you say to that abatement? I just said okay as it turned my hamburger cold. I told her that her company was getting old, so I got up from my meal with her, gears in her mind grinding, her thoughts to a blur. Aren't you going to finish your meal with me? Pleasing inquiries in her apocryphal pleas. She called me the very next day, her wavering soft voice to say, are you mad at me, Dave? Sometimes I just don't know how to behave. My band is playing at my house tonight. We'd like you to help us play quite right. If you please, all of us are at your ease. So I said to her in those fleeting minutes that were, what are the instruments in your band? Oh, we have an accordion, a piccolo, and a hurdy-gurdy machine with broken strings. So I said to her, to me, you will not defer. The electric guitar will not mix with all those Alice in Wonderland pickup sticks. I hung up on the queen of the Fruit Loop band. She wanted me to musically give them a hand. Were it not for her ham-handed segue, when she spoke to me that way, I would have. End poem.
Oh, I like this one's my favorite one so far, Dave. I really, really love this. The way you brought this forward and the way that it was presented. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Dave is writing a little bit of a chronicle of his days on eHarmony, where he had 300
and how many days? 300?
375.
375 days.
No shit.
So this is going to be a full-length novel. This is going to be a full-length novel, folks. So I really, really enjoyed that. So let me get some comments for you. Before I do, let me welcome to the show Mr. Raz. Hey, Raz, how you doing, brother?
Razzle dazzle.
Good. Glad to be here on the show with you all.
Hey, Jay,
right.
I'm not a winner in the bunch for poor
Razzle
Dave.
dazzle.
No kidding. All right, let me get a comment from. Let's start it out with Becky. Becky, what did you think of this eHarmony Chronicle?
Well, I thought it's very colorful. It just draws you in. The story, I always loved Dave's ability to tell a story, but knowing the backstory to this makes it even more fascinating. The fact that it's based on his own little research. 375 freaking, are you kidding me? So, yeah.
No, I'm not, really.
you have an absolute wealth of inspiration there to write from. But in this particular one, the first I've heard, I like I said, I really love the colorfulness of it, the playfulness of it. I love it's hard to figure some of these enigmas without developing your own stigmas. That's excellent. Let's see. There was one other I wanted to point out. Oh, are you mad at me, Dave? Sometimes I just don't know how to behave. I love the rhyme there. Really is kind of creeps up on you, which is the best thing about rhyme. But anyway, very enjoyable. Your adventures are always interesting.
Thank you, Betty. Thank you very much.
Rack,
very welcome.
You got a comment on this, Rack?
Yeah, I liked the thought that your dead hamburger turned cold at her comment. That's just a statement to how chilling her behavior was. That's just wow. I can't see in the middle of lunch just saying, you know what, I don't feel a spark. What is the point of doing that in the middle of the? I mean, some people I don't know.
You look at papers.
Yeah, what do you say to that? I mean, if somebody comes up with that and they make that statement, it's almost like a rhetorical statement. You don't know what the hell to say to it,
Yeah, no, that's awkward.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. Yeah. Calling them the Fruit Loop Band was also very clever, Dave.
It was.
What's the word I'm thinking of? The hodgepodge. Oh my God, melange, or there's another word that means that eclectic collection of. And I know it's on the tip of Becky's tongue, but oh my God, a hurdy-gurdy machine that was broken. Seriously. I pulled some archaic thoughts and words out of my head, but hurdy-gurdy machine? I don't know that I've ever seen one. Never mind, anything but read about one.
If you go over to the poem, this woman is holding one. That's a hurdy-gurdy machine in her hand, and
wow.
They got different designs on them, but this is the most popular one that was used back in the day.
Excellent.
So. Thank you.
All right. And let me get a comment, of course, from Boo. Boo, I know you want to say something.
Dave, I was just going to ask you, you never went on a second date with any of them, or just always a first date?
No, I had one gal that I dated for quite a while, and I thought it was a real deal. I dated her for a whole summer, and we were back and forth to each other's houses just about every weekend. And then she made another statement one time when I was eating dinner with her. She says, David, and I go, yeah. And she goes, I'm a real bitch. Just like that. And I said, well, I said, what the hell do you want me to say, You want me to say, yeah, I know you are? I didn't say that. And I was eating dinner and it just pissed me off. I got up. She said, where are you going? I said, I'm going home. Oh, well, don't leave. I said, well, you pretty much threw a bucket of cold water in my face for this evening, so I'll see you. And that was the last time I was with her. I don't put up with that shit,
I like how you say, my picture was, what does that say? Was swaying. That's so funny. whatever that word means.
WYSIWYG. It's a short and form.
What you see is what you get.
Is what you get.
Oh, that's hilarious. Is that what she said? And then, that's funny. Yeah, and send me the link for part 2 because now I'm out of the loop. I got to know what happened. I think this is hilarious, and I always can't wait to hear what happens next. I'm waiting for a good story, but I guess you don't really have one coming. But even so, it's just so sad. A lot of people go through this every day. Like, that's why I tell people who are in relationships, you probably cherish the one you got because probably your work in progress is better than what's out there to choose from because it's not sounding very promising. And then she called the very next day just to use you for you to help her out with her band. You should have taken her plate away right at lunchtime when she said, I don't feel it. She said, give me that, you know. I thought it was great, really funny, and I love hearing about it.
Oh, I'll send you the other one, part 2.
Excellent. And Wayne, I'm going to give you the last say on this poem, and then we're going to put yours in there, and I'll play your audio.
All right. Well, Dave, you guys have to learn to don't pay no attention to what a woman says, because they say the damnedest things. You just don't pay no attention. I try not to listen to them too much, but you could have went over there and had a good time with this little hippie girl. You could have over there had a party. They'd have all kinds of party treats, and tell them what kind of mood you'd been in when you got there. I've heard a piccolo get down and jam sometimes when I was pretty high, so a piccolo can get down. So, anyways, it's a great poem. I enjoyed it, but you can't pay no attention to them women to say anything. Good poem.
Dave, that was an opening when she said. That was an opening when she said she didn't feel a spark. You should have said, "Well, then maybe I'll jump you."
Yeah. Anyway.
But
this poem of mine,
right.
I recorded kind of a sad song. So this is a little sad song, a sad poem that I wrote today about a week ago. So it's pretty sad. So that's all I will say.
All right. Here we go.
This is called Broken from a Drunken Dad. Acorn eyes look back down the empty alleyway. Alcohol and Bassett was apart from applause today. Academy announcers, accessories sway as she walks out alone. With assassination of her heart, felt like largest avalanche known. Her arms clench her alfalfa hair as she walks asphalt trail. Missing fathers and Miss Arrows provided pain so well. Ambers from her amputee's love float like ash in air. Tears in her luminous eyes, that's only for her dad to care. Artichoke ankles, heavy like alloys of steel. Apple lips, an arching brow shows pain she feels. Almond skin, smooth as glossy acrylic to touch. The axe for her dad's ale has become too much. Ian?
I want to say how brilliant this is, the way you brought forward all those words that begin with the letter A. And it's a sad story and a sad testament, because there are people that live like this. There are people that the families are like this, and it tears that next generation apart, and it's a sad thing. And I know I'm going to get a comment from someone who sees this firsthand. I'm going to ask her first. Becky, please comment on this.
Well, I'm really glad you asked, Jay. I was hoping as I listened to this. Wow, sorry about the feedback. So, Wayne, first of all, let me address this style because it is so different. I've been a little AWOL, and see that you have just evolved in the past few months. And from your wonderful down-home poetry that I really always appreciated, being down-home myself, but I see that you've taken a deeper plunge here, I think, into life in general. And I know that you have connections in your world, that you have also worked in that area. So it's not like you're coming from out of the blue. But, you know, Jay is absolutely right. This is taken straight from life, as sad as it seems. Any story that you might want to tell me, I can tell you one worse. And that's just the way it was. You know, each day brought, you know, a new horror. But you've described it beautifully. I love your experimenting with new words and descriptions. Ambers from an amputee's love. The alcohol ambassador. Wonderful alliteration, but also so unique. I think you're growing leaps and bounds. I hope you don't take that the wrong way, but you absolutely are. And this is, you know, like I said, this is a snapshot of life that some people don't want to know about. Wonderful job.
That's true. That's true. Thank you very much, Becky, for your comment.
Very welcome.
Raz, what do you think?
Yeah, there are, like Jay was mentioning, families of which plenty of distance goes on within the relatives. And here that's very accurately portrayed, up to the point of how brainwashing it is for those who suffer from the loss of a father or an abusive parental figure. He uses the term in the third stanza of Artichoke, and it goes heavy like the alloys of steel. And there had been a top secret MK Ultra project, which was known as Operation Artichoke. So I was wondering if maybe there was not a coincidence as to the kind of Stockholm syndrome this leads with the connections that are destined to always fail.
I don't know. I don't think I had any connection to that at all, I don't think. Didn't mean to anyway. Great comment.
Well, maybe you did by accident. There you go.
I probably did by accident. Probably did.
Subliminal.
Boo, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Becky. I mean, Wayne, you never know what you're going to get. And he can be funny, and he can be serious, and he can be, you know, and he'll throw something at you that you don't expect at all, and so deep because, you know, we know him kind of as being fun and funny, but he can be very serious, and this shows it. The picture is haunting, in my opinion, because I love acorn eyes, look down toward the end of the alleyway. It's almost so cartoon and so cute until you get to read the rest of the story. Awesome alliteration, too. Their Academy announces accessories, sway, walk, styles alone. Yeah, this, I think, deserves the front page, Wayne. This is deep writing, very poetic and moving, and you said what you needed to say there in 3 stanzas beautifully, and it's very memorable. It's the kind of poem that sticks with you. Awesome job.
Thank you, Boo.
And Headshot, I'm going to have you make the last comment, and then I'm going to put your poem on the board.
Yeah, so I didn't have a father, and I had a drunk, abusive authority figure. So I'd get hit at home, then I'd get hit at school. So the government thought it was okay at the time. I don't agree with what they thought then, and I don't agree with what they think now. It's those who come from the worst and overcome that would succeed at the end. I thought it was a great line.
Thank you very much. You're right.
This one's called Promises. Crap smells better than death. Doesn't mean you should leave from your chest. Got a pinky, I got a brain. She needs child support, but I'm the one that's insane. As if 300 would make a change. If it's that bad, things need rearranged. Burning commas to reflect the blame. When money talks, I can lead better with a cane. Knowing not of anyone closer or farther in the game. He is dying while she is playing, saving life to get paid twice. I'm just saying. She saves while he loses. He accepted as she chooses. Let Mother Goose loose on the moose, 'cause the boots are done with words are not cooling. Scratches are not fooling. You're only as good as the tools you are using. Unconstitutional authority while Tesla steals the show. Put our drops in the river, but put our drops in, but the river refuses to flow. Manifesting an artificial glow. Tweedledum or Tweedledee. Delete the file followed by Bambi doesn't know. Simulated thumbs if you didn't know. She tries to lead while she's being told. Asking for kindness as she requests more. Respect means walking through the door. Golden gates, but they fell through the floor. Ferris wheel or steering wheel, pirates at the core. South by Southwest versus West Point dots, which one tore. Radical radius at the shore. We don't just want your life anymore. End poem.
That last line really gets to me because when I take a look at something like that, I take a look at how much can you give, how much can you give, how much can you give, and it just keeps on taking. It just tears us apart. And it's like they want us beyond our lives. They want us beyond everything else. And they pretty much, it's just, it's like how much more do you want? I know. How much more do you want beyond what I can give? I can't give anymore. I don't have any more to give. And they just want to keep on taking.
That way they make sure you can give tomorrow and the next day.
Exactly. This is so powerful, brother. Great job. Dave, what do you think about this one?
Well, it reminds me of my ex-wife. You know, she always wanted more and more and more. That's kind of an exaggeration, but not very much. Anyway, I thought this was really good. I liked it. The endless giving and not receiving, that seems to be a standard of operation in society today. Everybody wants stuff, but they don't want to give anything in return for it. You know, they don't want to give any affection. They don't want to give you any help. They don't want to give you any support. You know, they just give me all the time, stand around with their hands hanging out, you know, and one thumb up their ass. And you know, that's bullshit, you know, and I think you hit the nail right on the head with this one. I thought it was really well written. I like the way the rhythm of the thing went too.
Thanks.
And Wayne, what did you think?
Well, I said your poetry is excellent. You always seem to tell the story of life and how sad some of the people are. Some people are just taking advantage of everybody, and no matter what you do, it's not enough. And they never hear anything you have to say. And you said on the line when you said.
God, it's so bad. The feedback.
Put our drops in the river, but it freezes the flow. No matter what you do, whatever you say don't go anywhere. It just kind of sits still. But yet they demand more and more every day from you. It's a great poem. You're an excellent poet. I like the way you did it, and I'd like to read too. Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
And Becky, what do you think?
So I have always loved Headshots. Very unique poetry. On a more superficial level, I love the rap-like nature of it because I'm a grandmother who loves rap and the rhythm of it and how some rap songs have such amazing lyrics. So that is always what is brought to mind when I hear him. And the other thing that I like about it so much is how I know it's right from his heart. It's right from his life. And it wasn't an easy life, yet he wants to share it. And, you know, maybe to help someone, maybe to help himself. I'm not sure, but it is with that kind of intention, I think, to make some kind of change. And that's what's important with those of us who have that tough time, is that we get something and change something and make something. And you do. You make poetry, and you make it really beautifully.
Thanks. I'm trying to make the requirement to be a Capricorn and a poet to be the president of the United States.
Well, I'm a Capricorn and somewhat of a poet, so yeah, that's great. I'll be your Secretary of State.
All right. Boo, you get the last comment, and then we're putting your poem on the board.
Okay. I think this is really catchy. Crap smells better than death doesn't mean you should leave in your chest. Got a pinky, I got a brain. I just think that's funny. She needs child support from the one insane. I think this is all of your letdowns and disappointments and bullshit, of all the bullshit that people tell you and promise you, and the hard reality of the real world that you see. Money talks and bullshit walks, like they say. And all the promises that you've been promised, that you're wondering what the fuck happened to those, I think. And where did they go? What about your dreams? What about your things? What about what you want? You're just supposed to sit there and accept what the world throws at you. And you're not going to take it anymore. You're over it. You're done with it. That's kind of what I see. And then radical radius, we just don't want your life anymore. Maybe also a rebirth, you starting over. And I think that's what the poetry does for you. It's sort of your therapy, like it is for me as well. And I thought you voiced it here very well. Just keep writing, my friend, because you're going to get yours eventually. Awesome job.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. And Boo, you're on the board.
Okay. I just lost the page. Sorry. Okay. Okay. This is called Poetic Passion. It goes like this. He sings hymns of solitude across my shoulders, utters summer sonnets down my arched spine, whispers faded prayers between my thighs. Not a single inch denied your divine brilliance. United as one, we willingly redefine poetry. Grant permission to scribe script to hip. Spirits fuse above a sizzling mandala sky. Absorb sounds between foreign and familiar. Ivories recite hymns of mutual adoration. In winter stress and torment, I found a sanctuary. Limbs no longer belonging to me, left yearning. Need no altar to make me kneel, my darling. Come hither and let's make the saints envious with all of the unkind things we'll do tonight. Planets swell and galaxies expand in his presence. Sunset would pause and sunrise would still exist. In a magnificent paradox to herald your presence. There, I'd safely contain you in my adoring smile. Skilled hands could make a skeptic a believer, succumb to the perpetual, never-ending agony brought about by the distance between us, left helpless with no choice but to weep amidst the howling of a new aurora sky. End poem.
Wow. This is absolutely super cool. I was there was a poem the other day that I'm not sure who read it. It might have been you as well, Boo, but I love a poem that could bring us to the tiniest things and the expanses of the universe and combine them all into one thing at one time and just put them back and forth where they're connected. And I love a poem that is able to do that. And this poem right here was able to do that. You absolutely brought us to the expanses of the universe, but brought us down to your smile, which is absolutely a wonderful, wonderful way to put everything. So great job on this. I really love it. Raz, I'm going to let you start off with the comments on this one.
Thanks, Jay.
Raz.
Earth to Raz. Come in, please.
Yes. Trying to understand this poem, and there's plenty of here which describes the surroundings to be of another world, and how there's paradoxes in the universes within the subtext of the relationship. But what I find most significant is that psychic sense at the ending, which believes auroras are possible of what there is not only with the sky, but how we each contain a different amount of energy, as these tidings are held in the poet's favor of what went on with such and such by the end of the night until dawn.
Awesome headshot. What'd you think?
I had a somewhat of a mother name, Aurora, like a Spanish name, I guess. I thought it was great. It reminded me of a story of like Romeo and Juliet or Adam and Eve or something like that. Come hither and let's make saints envious. The times we are in, God, the devil, saints, you name it, they should be envious of us for what we do and how we act upon the times. And they're jealous, I think, a bit of the times and how far we've come and evolved and developed. There's just several lines in here that I loved. I thought it was a great night.
Thank you. That's it.
Wonderful. And Wayne?
Yes, yes. This is wonderful the way you explained how you witness your lover and your friend ability to affect you.
Wayne, you're breaking up, my friend.
I got back. Here I am. This is wonderful the way you explain how you witness your lover or your friend's ability to affect you in your poetry. It's the deep poem, and you went in with the mental awareness that you explained your connection with him in a loving, honest, sincere way, and did it in a great poetic fashion. It's a good poem. I liked it a whole lot, and I liked the way you read it, and it's just a good poem all the way around. Good job. You have a lot of good feelings about this guy. Good job.
Thank you, Wayne.
And Dave.
Oh, thank you. I've been fortunate to pick a comment on this. I certainly have. No, I agree with you, Jay. I thought Boo did a hell of a job tying in the macrocosmic with the quantum level stuff. And then Raz said something about each of us having our own energy levels. That's very true. Anytime you have cellular activity, you've got, energy going on in it. When you're making love to a woman or a man, if you're a woman, you know what I'm saying. You get into this, this level or this consciousness that's it almost like two souls are merging together. If you two are really connected. And that is a real experience, and you kind of daydream, and your mind kind of just it goes on holiday for a while, while this is going on. And I think Boo did a really good job in expressing that. Planets swell and galaxies expand in his presence. Sunset would pause, and sunset would still exist. In a magnificent paradox to herald your presence, there I safely contain you in my adoring smile. That's such a beautiful last line right there. God, I don't know who's hardest on me in this kind of writing. It's either Angel or Boo. I don't know. It's maybe both of them, I think. But beautiful way. Beautiful expression here, Boo. Really, really gorgeous. I thought it was wonderful, and your man's a lucky guy to have your love. So there you go.
Thank you, Dave.
And Becky is going to get Becky gets last say, and then we're going to put her piece on the board.
Okay, so
shut up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Let me start at the start. Your first line is just amazing. I have to draw attention to that. I think it's the best line I've ever read of yours. Because if you take a second to look at it, and and take every word, break down every word and the meaning behind it, that he sings hymns, but the hymns are of solitude, sung across your shoulders. Oh, my God, my head is exploding. And then you go on to talk about uttering the summer sonnets down your arched spine. It's all so beautiful. It's sensual, but it's sad. And that's what I've missed about your poetry is the emotion, the sensuality, and the sometimes sadness, but, you know, I always kind of find an array of hope there. That's Boo. But I see that what you're doing is, you know, you've evolved, too, into such wonderful imagery and lines like that first one and use of language. And that brings me to my last point, which is Mandela, the Mandela sky. That goes on my list of phrases I wish I'd thought of. I'm kicking myself. You don't know how hard, because I don't know if you know if this is how you used it, but Mandela is a classic hippie symbol. I have it all over my house. I have it all over my freaking house, in my artwork and in my clothing. And if you look at it, the sizzling Mandela sky is breathtaking. It is such a wonderful image. You have outdone yourself. Just wonderful, Boo.
Thank you, Becky. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. I want to say before Becky reads, hello to Jess Guerin out on the board. Great to see him.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is put a little plugs out there for some shows that are coming up. Iraq had to go, but on the 25th, he has When Broken Hearts Bleed. Don't want to miss that one. He is talking about settling, so that's going to be an interesting topic.
Maybe
Boo and Rob on the what do you guys got going on the 18th, Boo?
Oh, Friday night. We have quotes and pictures and picture quotes there. There's 10 of them there, so you can pick any of those.
Right.
5 from him, 5
David
from
Bowie
me,
on there.
Yeah.
And what I've got going on the me and Raz on the 24th, we're doing Cry Macho, a celebration to Clint Eastwood. So I want to invite everybody to that as well. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
All right, Becky.
All right, baby.
Hey, you were on, Becky.
Yeah, man.
Jay, you just made my day.
Yeah, there you go.
Make my day. Okay, so
I love it. I love it.
This is I didn't really have the Kent accent real good, but anyway. Okay, so this is the latest in my Slam Mom collection. So forgive me, probably a thing till I die. And it's called On the Decline of a Dying Dandelion. I give sidewalks a wide berth, detours deep-rooted, mired in childhood. When just air and dust stood between my foot and that back-breaking crack, mother's health hanging on my schoolgirl's grasp of the world, and a straight gray line drawn in cement. So I hiked train tracks and back roads, forded Appalachian streams, and forged shortcuts through tennis courts to beat temptation and find salvation. Life as a non-stop game of hopscotch. I give sidewalks a wide berth, preferring the porous pinpricks of earth. Feet flat as skipping stones, my bones aged to papier-mâché and overlaid in crackled glass skin, shades of brass and persimmon that cast a sepia glow, like an old photo, brittle and curled at the edges, skinny film noir heroine tiptoeing in a dead woman's shadow, still holding back, still dodging that sidewalk crack, just to someday die dandelion's death. shin splints, cinders, and split ends, a pinch of silver sawdust, all that's left of me, a brisk wind gust, and I'm history. End poem.
I think this is cool because you know what, I see someone aging, but someone who doesn't want to let go of a childhood heart. And I'm like tiptoeing in a dead woman's shadow, still holding back, still dodging that sidewalk crack. Oh, don't step on a crack or you break your mama's back.
Break your mother's back. Crack is whack. Yeah, exactly.
I love that. That is so freaking clever. I love the way you brought that forward. This is so fun. And so just right there. Excellent job, Becky. Let me get some comments for you. But before I do, why don't we welcome to the show Verge. Hello, Verge. How you doing?
Hey. What's going on, people? How's everybody, man? Everybody's well, I hope.
Hi, Big V.
Hey. How you doing, Boo? How the rest of you guys doing? I hope you're all well.
Doing well. Thank you, brother.
Good.
Thank you.
I'm getting some comments from Becky right now. Let me get a comment from. I'm going to start with
me.
Headshot. What do you think of Becky's poem?
I thought it was great. I love several lines. It gives me a different perspective. I don't know many older women. It gives us perspective of what she's been through and what she's become, and as she looks at the world as it still continues as we fade away as we get older.
Yes.
I thought it was very descriptive, and you could just I felt like an old lady for a minute. So it's a great ride. I thought it was great.
Yeah, thank you. You guys on the nose.
And Dave, what do you think?
Oh man, Becky, this has to be one of the best ones I've ever heard you read. Jesus, that just blew me out of the water. I mean, seriously, it brought me back to my childhood. You know, I never played hopscotch, but we had that old thing about not stepping on the cracks on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And the kids would play hopscotch. The other ones would go out in the street with all this bright-colored chalk and draw all these things out, and then they'd be kids hopping along on one leg and falling down and that sort of thing. And, you know, I liked you really took this your mother's welfare in seriously this way. So you hike the train tracks and back roads, and you never stepped on the sidewalk. You know, sometimes I think a whole herd of elephants ran across all the cracks in the sidewalk when I get out of bed sometimes. But this was really, really, really beautiful. And you know, and if you're an old lady, Becky, you're a beautiful one. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
I thought this was excellent.
So, you know,
there you go.
The problem with me was most of the other kids didn't want to jump on the crack or step on the crack to protect their mother. I stayed away because I was afraid I would step on that damn crack.
You're afraid to get off on the crack?
Priceless.
Give me some little
priceless.
child revenge. Thank you, Dave.
And let me also get a comment from Boo.
Yeah, I love this too. I think if you're an old lady, you're the sexiest grandma I ever seen, and you know,
no shit.
It's true. I was writing to you on the board that it's true. I didn't step on a crack for over 2 years, and my brothers and sisters thought I was an idiot because they were like, "That shit's not even real, Boo."
Don't you wonder how those things get started?
Yeah. I mean, you go the other way. We were ready to stomp on it and dance all over it. And,
it's like, where did that come from? I know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I believe that and a bunch of other things that I heard, actually, like cool.
Yeah,
I also thought the stork was bringing me a baby. For years and years, I was waiting for my child to come. But that's a whole other mental issue.
The way they lie to children. Well, thank you so much.
But I thought this was really great, hanging on my schoolgirl's grasp of the world in straight gray lines drawn in the cement. I can relate a lot to this. I loved my mom very much, but I know that you've had your issues. My bones aged to paper mache. That's beautiful. This deserves the front page. I'm going to nominate it. Awesome. I love the way you read it. I love what it says. I love the history. And I love the ending. A brisk and a gust, and I'm history. You're like, I'm out.
I'm history.
Awesome job. And it's inspired by Sylvia Plath. Really good.
Yeah. It's true. I don't go out in windstorms anymore.
I don't either,
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Last comment on this from Raz, and then we're putting Raz's. Yes, awesome. Raz's piece on the board after Raz comments.
Yeah, I had a different take of this poem based on looking at the title, which was On the Decline of a Dying Dandelion. And so my perspective is that you had a character within the piece walk on the sidewalk, and they saw the dandelion and realized that it was a life form with less complexity, and yet somehow connected to a greater whole, which is nature. And there is that sense of your own mortality not being all that different from the fact that, like any other flower, it slowly wilters.
Oh, I love your interpretation. I do. And I'll admit that, the little flowers that we see sprout up between the cracks. And I did think about that, especially when I wrote the title. So I love that you noticed that and brought that kind of meaning to it. Thank you.
All right. Razzle Dazzle, you are up.
Yes. This poem is titled Marriage to Philosophy, and the prompt was, what is below stays below. That is the law from Clive Barker's Night Breed. Marriage to Philosophy. Exhibit of items of articles considered subject form. Evaluation to the quotient ascertainment. Geometrically associations of different forms. Wrong way crash courses. Dead man's lane is a dead end street fertilized with missing children's slicks to Morlock finalized. Frederick Nietzsche with the splatter blood paint brushes and the social moral nil. Torment of St. Anthony. Michelangelo first known drawing of the Catholic faith. Eternal affliction to the demonic forces of Satan. Are they serious, never hearing of someone like Tony Bennett? Population Zero is a future technology running the lifeless tested systems. Infinite game theory. Mr. Green thinks the chip exists, destroyed, or completely processed. Extraterrestrial enigmatic designs uplink to cellular charge transmissions decoded with the encrypted phones. Russian spies, or the internal error to outside signals from the International Space Station. Assumed roles of conduct are slowly failing. Judging external characteristics to be separate ethical values to individual pathos. The irrelevant synaptic runs responsive to self-induced sickness caused by immunity adaptation with the contention's wisdom for false pretenses. Coordinate basis is a rough draft adherent of engagement concise hearing. Ring the bell if you're not going to turn away from filing a crime report complaint with the uniformed police at standing operation file, and finish the ad sample for the North England Post. Magical thinking played a role in decision, less belief, and whether it was right to make a choice because of an intuitive deduction compared by coercion of factual query. Fear of Satan is a demon like turning to cigarettes because of the difficult breathing to crying depression is magical thinking. Only Jesus is also considered the demon. when pain is the insecurity pathway. Ritalin, rawness of bones, sacrifice to darkness, bent body, spine, pining away, spiritual divorce and chronic dissatisfaction. Space coordinates, you're both not existing, coexisting factors, and modeling. Tag upon, cobalt, wide area exclusive to ecological development, cancel each other's dormant faculties. Change summary of the externalism, self-efficient survival, but the inner hurt is an abstracted object proposal. On the black vultures, 4 or 5 feet stock, John Harden's farm rooftops. Natural plague was oblivious to being death omens, forbidden. In sickness and in health, we swore to never leave each other's mortal swaying, and the axis was tilted. End poem.
Wow, I have a couple things that really jump out to me. One of once again, this is your pure intelligence thrown against a piece of paper, or in this case, the computer screen or phone screen, or however we're reading it, and it just absolutely is so intelligent, and so you put so much stuff in there. But the two things that really jump out to me is you said only Jesus is considered the demon when pain is the insecurity pathway. And one thing about that is, how many times do we curse God when things go wrong in our lives? We do it all the time. People do it all the time. You know, it's why did you let this happen to me? Why did you let that happen to me? And it's just kind of like something that comes up all the time. And I think that is such a clever way to put it. And then I've mentioned black vultures in poems before, and black vultures are a very interesting type of vulture. They're a vulture that has no sense of taste or smell. So when they go down to try to eat something, they're not even sure whether they can eat it and survive or not. They're usually looking for turkey vultures to lead them to their type of carrion, that where they can eat whatever they need to eat. And I think it's quite awesome the way that this is put together, and the way that you presented it. Absolutely stunning, and excellent job there, Raz.
Yeah,
and I'm going to get
on a story I saw in the paper. John Hardy's farm was filled with those black vultures, and it was seen as an ominous kind of death omen while they were there.
Awesome. Well, before I get you some comments, we'll say goodnight to Becky. And we want to welcome to the show Frank. Hello, Frank. How you doing, brother?
Hello, my friends. Hello there. It just happened to be that I called in and Becky has to go.
Hello,
it's been a long time since I've not heard from. Hello there, Boo. I don't want to take much of the time here, so I'll let Jay go ahead and continue.
Absolutely. We'll start with Dave. Dave, what did you think about Raz's poem?
Oh, boy. I thought this was like a really, really complicated machine running. I liked it. I always like his work. It's real interesting. I like this part in here where it says Russian spies or the internal error to outside signals from the International Space Station. Assumed rules of conduct are slowly failing. Yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot of pieces in here. Magical thinking play a role in decision, less belief, and whether it was right to make a choice because of an intuitive deduction compared by coercion of factual query. I like that thought too. There's a lot of really, really cool things in here. This is a type of a poem that you have to take it apart, a couple lines at a time. I think, at least I do. And there's a whole lot of different things that are being said here at the same time. So, you know, I could probably talk all night on this poem if I really wanted to, but I think it's really, really well done. It's always well done, and I enjoyed it.
Great comment. And next up for commenting is Verge. Verge, what do you think?
Raz, sorry, I always get you guys confused. Not that there's any comparison between you, but this is classic Raz, isn't it? I mean, I've walked into hearing about people not wanting to walk on cracks in the road, storks bringing babies, and then whack, here comes Raz with the real heavy, thought-provoking, very interesting assessment and analysis of the world at large, where we seem to be heading. It made me think, it's interesting because I literally this week just saw that the new Matrix film trailer, I actually saw it, I think it's only come out a few days ago, 3 days ago. Matrix Resurrections has come out, and it's like, it just took me straight to Mr. Smith, a lot of the references in this piece. Very interesting analogy and assessment you brought in there, JC, with the black vultures. And when you said no taste and smell, I immediately thought, well, they're COVID vultures then, right? These are the COVID vultures you're talking about, and they're the ones leading the rest of us down a very interesting path that maybe we shouldn't be. I don't know if we need to be following the turkey vultures or not. I'm not quite sure. But yes, the Jesus line is also very interesting. And this week I'm in that position with my own life. And I'm like, you know, what's going on and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, and you do tend to go down that path when you feel things aren't working the way you want. And then, of course, when they are, it's like, oh, thank God and thank you and all the rest of it. So there's a huge dichotomy of thinking and ideologies in this, but I think essentially it really does speak about the complexities of modern life, modern existence, the world as we now know it. I like the fact that Clive Barker, Nightbreed, is also somebody that Raz mentioned in the comment at the end. So there is a horror element to it too, a very dark kind of vision of the future, but as ever, just a fantastic ride, very clever, very insightful. Like Dave said, you could go on today and you probably still not really get what Raz is meaning with a lot of these stanzas and a lot of things that are said. But yeah, highly, highly intelligent ride, very much appreciated. Good job, Raz. I liked it a lot as well.
Yeah, there's references here to a Christian interpretation of demons, and they're not exactly the kind which you find in the Bible, but ways of accidentally harming yourself that proves a form of spiritual damnation, and that's a part of this piece with magical thinking. Some of the demons I read up on were crying, depression, difficult breathing, cigarettes, sacrifice to darkness, Ritalin, chronic dissatisfaction. So all that's thrown in there to consider, is this a way of really considering yourself being turned away from God, or just someone else's interpretation of what it means, the actual devil?
Just as a quick response, JC, before I'll let you move on. Here's the interesting part about what you just said, and I know it's always a controversial subject for people, but I have to bring it up because it relates to this idea of going against God and nature. The Matrix Resurrections has been directed by Lana Wachowski. And for those of you who remember the original Matrix trilogy, they were made by a couple of brothers, one being Larry, and I can't remember the other one, but I believe one of them, who was Larry, is now Lana. So it is quite interesting that even within the realm of something like The Matrix, a creative film about a scientific underdwelling that we all are party to, that even the man who once was a man who made it has now become a woman, and those who are in the film, clearly it's not like it's an issue. It's like, yep, we're going to do the film, we're going to carry on, and it's all good. So it is very interesting that we are in that place on so many levels, not just gender, but a lot of different things in terms of what we value now as being morally right, and that God would want in the idea of what the man-made construct of God is. So, yeah, very interesting point you made there as well, guys. That was a great poem. I really enjoyed it.
All right. Well, what we're gonna do next is Boo got dropped and then back and then dropped and then back, so she wasn't able to quite hear your poem, Raz, but I'm sure she'll comment to it. But Boo, can you go ahead and do us a favor and read In Chains, who is listening in from the UK, please? Boo, the button, Boo.
I don't know. I just want to tell you, Raz, I'm sorry. I dropped like a couple times, but I will read your poem, leave a comment. I apologize, Raz. Okay, so we're In Chains. Kisses in a Bowl of Ash. My cover piece for my first book titled Kisses in a Bowl of Ash. Good title. Okay. Time remains, spoonful of hurricane snapped with fathomed blood, thin walls, iris granted only one fair shell, left whisper stitches. Within deep sword stone, obliging obese shadows, hard to shine, goodbyes. And all that ever was will be, but not as yet, except for rainbows squandered, hallmark bones laying there, still largely, still dead, still stark. Bottle tops upon candles, dipstick blue-white memories, skinless wrapped up in twingeless bandage, soil blue, peaking at a rapid pace. Who cares to breathe, to hold out their pinned down pockets and rescue grief? Stewed trick in the light smile struck in far gone syrup, warrior-bound chains, stifled behind such loners scarred. Me, one of those scratched at glass misfits, carrying haggled buckets of Rumpelstiltskin hair strands. No one paints while death waits to dance. A throne's only bloody stamp, leaving golden nut trails of plugged-in Ferris thumbprints. Twirled shoelace mornings on diseased granite sills, just one tapped foot in front of the other, swindling between hanging telescopic seams of silk carved, not enough. Luck has a powder face, up to its neck. Even one's tailbones picked up, burnt twice again. The near oceanic pulse kissed by oceans to the loop, bodice lays, and poem.
Wow. Yeah, Wow is right. She wants this. This is going to be a poetic story about me. I've been meaning to do this for a long time. The thought process has been there, but not yet managed to put into words. I want everybody to read those. Her pretty much everything that she has put so much into this, so much of her heart into this. And there is so much to read in her AM about who she is and what she does. And I want anybody who is listening out here in the audience to check out In Chains and check this piece out, because this will be the piece that defines her, that sets her up. You know, she talks about and this is something for you, Boo. Life isn't about fairy tales and rainbow, nor is it meant to grant all your wishes. It's been a harsh lesson. And there you go. You know, that Boo says that all the time. That's about who she is. And there's so much that to learn from other people and their trials and what happens to them. Joe puts this in an absolutely amazing way. This is absolute pure poetry, defined, and the emotion behind it is just phenomenal. And I think she did an amazing job bringing this out. And I wish, like I said, I wish I had time to read all of the AN. I wish I had time to read everything, but we have to keep on moving along. She did just an amazing job. Let me get. Go ahead, Dave. What do you think about this?
Oh, I am so pleased to see Jo back on. In our group. She was in another group for a while. I don't know if she still is or not. But I just love her work. It's just breathtaking when you read it. Every single poem that I've written about, I've read of hers is dark, but it's got a beauty to it. And this one kind of reminded me of almost like a cleansing rite for her. I get the impression from listening to it being read that she's writing this because it's getting something off of her chest. Maybe I don't know, but her poetry is always dark, but it's gorgeous, and it is. I've always been a fan of Jo's, and I think she is a marvelous writer. I really like this one. Time remains spoonful of hurricanes snap with fathomed blood thin walls. Iris granted only one sparse shell less. Jesus, I mean, this is. I mean, it just goes on and on. I mean, you read the poem and it just hits you in the face. I think it's beautiful. I'm really glad she's back here. I just love her. I think she's great.
And let me get a comment from Raz. Raz, what do you think?
Yeah, I was looking through the A and notes, and there's plenty here on trying to find a more center of gravity as to who you are compared to what you think. And one of the quotes says, "I'm human in a world that's rapidly losing its ability to know what it means to be human." And so that's plenty to think about when looking at the book title, as ominous as to the poem. You have what there is of the ashes, and would you actually look upon that act of destruction as another form of being reborn? So I think what plays heavily here is this poet saying they have went into the wilderness and found themselves and want to now speak the word of what they had learned there.
And Frank, what do you think?
Well, I have to say, knowing Jo, from what I know she's not in Broomy anymore. She's not in Birmingham anymore. I just think that she really has. She's just a remarkable writer, I would say. She has this ability to convey darkness in a manner that's perhaps a little bit bemuddling to those who were not acquainted with her writing, but it's very powerful, it's very compelling. And I've talked to her, and we've chatted several times about issues of her life, and she has seen much. She's had to forbear much in life, and what she writes generally, although it's dark, is very much centered on her life, And when you get to know the background, I'll be really brief here. When you start writing and you start reading people's, poetry, in this case, Jo, and you know the background of her stories and her poetry, then it starts to make sense. And she is a prime example, I would say, of the type of poetess who really writes from her own heart, really writes from her own experiences. And I think this poem is no exception. It does hurt me at times when I see her, I hear from her and I more than in other groups, and she's always in somewhat of depression and sorrow, and I can relate to that because I myself have gone through that. So this is just very, very relatable. I mean, who could not relate to her poetry and not be moved? I'll just leave it as that.
Great comment. And let me get a comment from Verge on this. Verge, what do you think?
Absolutely stunning piece of writing. Welcome back, Joe. I don't know you. I've never heard anything or read anything of yours, but this is very, very impressive. The raw truth that you bring, the way you speak about the complexities of our own, or in your case, your own thoughts about yourself, the difficulties of dealing with the issues that we face. I just think it's a really, really great raw write about the dichotomy that we all face with regard to how we see ourselves. I'll keep my comment brief because, as I say, you've already said all the things that I think. But I love the fact that she's put at the bottom, the strongest parts have the most scars. That defines the poem, her own inner strength, I think, because she mentions about being anorexic, used to be, and about the picture, about her at a picnic, and it's just like, yeah, this is, as previously said, incredibly relatable, incredibly real, incredibly big, very dark, but beautiful, a beautiful rendition of what darkness can mean to a lot of people in their inner, maybe not issues, but their inner thoughts about themselves. So fantastic, right? Keep writing, Joe. It is therapeutic. I'm sure Boo will be quick to say as well. And yeah, I totally agree. Fairies and get rid of the fairies and get to the core of who you are and deal with it, is what I would say the poem also says. Fantastic, right? Really, really enjoyed it.
And lastly, Boo, you read it. What'd you think?
Yeah, I love Verge's comment, and also I love what Azakiel said on the board about her writing. It's true, it's deep. And, she's never afraid to say that she's fucked up like the rest of us are. We all admit that we're screwed up. She's right out there on Plum Street because she's had her problems. She's had her issues. Some of us know about them. Some of us don't. It's not important. The poetry, it speaks for itself. I think I love the title of the book. I think that's amazing. And I think the AN is just as interesting as the poem, actually. Although the poem is very good, still largely, still dead, still stark, bottle tops upon candles, dipstick glue with memories skinless wrapped up. I mean, she's been through some shit, but she's still standing. So never give up, Joe, and you're always welcome here, just so you know. Great work, and I look forward to the book.
All right, and with that, we are going to do a little bit of Azakiel here, and we're going to jump into the sunlight, folks. So here we go. You may do your self-promotion. Go ahead. Here we go.
Oh, here he goes. He's the king.
Listen to the words as I speak, maybe echoes drive my ear. Send a message straight down your spine, like you heard the message divine. Open your heart to the sight, then you walk out into the light. See the sun in its glorious rain, giving us hope and growth for man. Sunlight runs, feeds us all, gives us gravity so we can fall. Just to get back up and stand strong, and it's been dawning millions long. So this day I'm thankful, sunshine makes me feel the world is mine. It's mine for the taking, no forsaking. In the sunlight my mind is waking. So big you don't fear, you are life and why we are here. So shine on, millions more, warm my soul to its core. Growing trees, electricity, giving more life than we can see. Beyond this world, I remember you, giving to all in sky so blue. Making my day, ensuring the night, you are with me even out of sight. In protein and in my veins, the rainbow during rains. You are everywhere, one way or another, you give more life than any other. When I walk in your light, I'll remember I am your light.
Well, there you go. I think that this is absolutely a brilliant piece. You know, it's like, why mess with the dark when you can go into the light? I like that. You know, that's a message that we should all see. And I think that your production on this actually was quite incredible, Azakel. And I like the way he went with this. Raz, what did you think about that?
Yeah, there's plenty of real good tuning here to Dance Retro. And I've heard this piece in the past. I decided I'm going to save it onto my Windows edition for later usage because I really like what this artist is generating as to the kind of trance-like music you could just put on any hour of the day and just kind of lose yourself into those beats.
And excellent comment. Let me get a comment from Verge. Verge, what do you think about that?
As ever, man, Azakel's just, you know, rocking hard, right? Rocking hard with production and with the messages. It's very powerful, very potent, very thought-provoking, very interesting. Yeah, trying to find the light right about now is not so easy for a lot of people, man. I'm actually receiving messages right now from people who are going through a lot of very, very difficult struggles of trying to find the light. It's very hard, you know, when you just kind of see people falling by the wayside and not really trying to embrace the light anymore. And I put myself in that as well, as much as I do. So in that way, the track is very relatable to me. One thing I will say, because he knows that I always, well, when I used to speak with him initially, I would always say, careful with those careful with. Why am I hearing all that noise in the background? Who's that? Is that me? That's not me, right?
I hope it's
yeah. What I would say, is just be careful with that weight on the production. Make sure your vocals are clear for us to hear. Because sometimes it can come across as like almost this distorted voice that's hitting us. And I like to hear the clarity of what you're trying to say. So just be careful with that production and the weight of how you add your vocals to the music, though, or more importantly, the music to the vocals. Because I know it only too well with material that I've brought out recently that it can be, you can get caught up in trying to make it seem so powerful from both fronts, when in some instances the music needs to be more powerful, and other times the words do. But this, overall, as a piece, it went further down. It got better and better in terms of its sonic clarity to me. But yeah, as ever, very interesting, very cool, very good piece of creativity. Very cool.
Excellent. And Frank, what do you think?
I have to agree to some certain extent, but I think that anytime you can, musical arrangements are not they're not easy. That's why you practice. You do renditions over and over. This is what you do in the studio. But I think what Asako has for him is that he has a determination. He doesn't seem like he can do as many takes as he can. And the song for him and the message of his piece is always what is the center point here. I'd like the beat. The beat. He seems to have a rhythm to the beat. His voice. I've heard other of his recordings, and they all seem to be on par. I would say they do. They are with the beat. He carries the flow of the beat with the song, and he carries a message to it. So it's something to be admired. When you can bring music and you can transform it, into this type of music, and you can be effective at it and, convey the message, not get straight from the beat, but consider that you have the power of your words, and music is that, my friend. If you don't have the power, the words are hollow. We can all create words. I mean, we all can create music, but if we don't have words, that really resonate, then, it's pointless to a certain extent. But I think he does have that. I would have to say that he does have that ability to convey his message, regardless of the beat and the music. He strums it, he goes to the drum beat.
Wonderful. Okay, Boo, I'm going to let you make the last comment, and then we're going to play Jask. Then we're going to do Jask, Frank, and then me. So what do you think?
Okay. What's that? King of self-promotion. Holy shit. And I love how he says they're verified by Spotify. You crack me up. What's that, really? But this, I love the shape of it. I think it's supposed to be, I don't know, it looks to me like a dumbbell or a candle. Doesn't matter. But the rhyme is always spot on with him. I mean, the whole thing, listen to the words I speak, may the echo strong that weak. The whole thing down your spine is divine. He believes what he believes. He's going to say it whether you believe it or not. He has the balls to say it. Last night he had the balls to tell us about his sex life, so now he's telling us about his spiritual side. He's always honest. He's always up front. He doesn't give you any bullshit. He doesn't sugarcoat it. And he tells you, what he wants. And whether you believe it or not, he's still going to express it. Give all life in an awesome peace. Wish I could battle to cure disease. People don't know this about him, probably, a lot of people, but he has a really big heart, and he's always giving. He might come off kind of cocky at times, but he does believe in the sunlight and doing what he's doing, making the world a better place. He believes it wholeheartedly, and you can see it in his poetry. And I think this is beautiful. It's uplifting. It's inspiring. And the rhyme, the meter, the cadence, all that. Perfect. Great job with that.
All right, here we go. We're going to have Just Scaring up next. This is called The Hurt Locker. So here we go.
Uh-oh.
The Hurt Locker. Lost in the human, as his heart found, best flavor, and fingers and cooler. Refresh open wound, gushes for raw nerves. Tickle with the air, it is iron. As is caffeine on, the eye within himself. Welcome to the Hurt Locker, where you can flash into a blossom, speaking spring with this fragrant, across which the setting sun rests in a humble. The blue words quoting calls, giving a breather from within. On those dark nights, as you stare at the sparkling black sky, I love how the night has a dark secret mystery to it. Even when the world is at its darkest, it still has a pale with light to guide us. The stars will shimmer and shine on us. Sunshine breaks open at dawn, storm battered and rain sailed. The silence of the dark night, bringing hope again. Life becomes surreal, dealing with reality and other hero. Thank you.
Oh wow! I never, Jask never seems to disappoint me in what he brings, and I always love that near the end, even with pain, even with that which is the Hurt Locker, he always brings a light of hope. Even when the world is at its darkest, it still has a pale, frigid light to guide us. The stars still shimmer and shine on us. Wow, what an amazing, amazing set of lines. And so it really doesn't matter how dark, how deep it gets. We still have that light that shines, and I love how Jask brings that light forward all the time. Raz, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, what you can't expect from friendship is a means of having to distract oneself from any kind of ongoing psychological pain. And so I think this is an appropriate set of metaphors comparing it to a Hurt Locker, where you go and patch up your wounds until having to seek out yet again. Has there been really any end to the rainbow any more than you can't imagine when there will come the end of the night?
Excellent comment. Dave, what do you think?
Trying to get my mute button going here. Yeah, I like this. I liked what Jask writes. I agree with everything you said about him. Kind of took the words right out of my mouth there, Jay. But yeah, the last part of the poem is a turnaround on it, and says, as we stare in the sparkling black sky, I love how the night has a dark secret mystery to it. Even when the world is at its darkest, it still has a pale, frigid light to guide us. That's kind of like that old saying, every dark cloud has a silver lining. That's true, it does. You have to, I like stuff with a happy ending, but sometimes it doesn't go that way, and sometimes it's effective just to tell the story the way it is. I think he's done a really good job, explaining, the feelings that he has sometimes, and I don't know. It's just really an intelligent poem and well worded, and I liked it. I thought it was good.
Wonderful comment. And Burge, what do you think?
Sorry, no, I've just left a comment on the floor, and I'm going to read the comment. Once again, Jas, this is just a great poetic write, an expression of the hurt and darkness we feel and choose to run from. But as you have said, JC, which is what I put in the comment, from such darkness comes light. And I just love, as we talked about on numerous occasions, Jas's bravery and just reciting it the way he does with the issues he has. But you cannot at all ever fault the writing, the actual things that he thinks and feels and how he is able to put it into words. I'm just trying to find, if you could give me a sec, the line that really, there's a line about, was it the air touching iron? I can't remember, it's early, right. Tickled with the air, rich with iron. I mean, there's just such a beautiful manner of expression. There are lots of writers in this group that do that, but when you think about Jask's obvious situation when you hear him, it's like, what an incredible thinker and a mind that Jask has. And that to me is always exhibited, not only in the writing, but in any audio rendition we hear from him. So, as ever, Jask, mad respect, great write, very much enjoyed. And funny enough, it's been a really interesting trifecta there with Raz, Joe, and this write as well, in terms of, again, as I've said all along, the dichotomy of darkness and light and how we're all fighting and struggling with it, and trying to retain this belief that the light is where we need to be and that we will find it. And that's a great way for Jask to kind of end the fight to let us know, as ever, that we must keep looking for the light. We must. Great job.
Excellent. And Boo. The button, Boo. The button.
Sorry, I'm right here. Trying to use two different terms. I agree with Verge again, and I mean, this is so elegant and so graceful the way that he writes. Welcome to the Hurt Locker. We're camouflaged into a blossom-speaking spring of fragrance. He's got the negative, but he always ends with the positive. Lonely dark nights as we stare at the sparkling black sky. It's like the mystery that is him. I see kind of his darkness, but he's trying to keep the light from overcoming the dark, or to overcome the darkness. I mean, and he almost wants to break. I see, but he does come out on top. Life becoming surreal, dreams a reality. End of the rainbow. So maybe he doesn't believe in the rainbows and the unicorn and the bullshit, like I always say, or maybe he does, but he makes us believe it. And the show that he's talking about is up there. This is really good. And, yeah, I like this. It's elegant and beautiful, and just like he does, he makes you think, and he doesn't need to say it in many words. Full of grace, I think, and heart. And awesome job there, Jask. And, oh, he just wrote this. I was going to say, you need more comments. Good job.
Wonderful. And Frank, I'm going to let you have the last say on this, and then we're going to put your piece on the board. And I do have your audio ready to go.
All right, my friends. What I can share. Now, who is that? Is that Bella?
No, that's
Boo in the background.
No, that's Boo being silly. Sorry.
Okay. I'm sorry. You sounded like Bella. You're giving me old memories there. Now I'm trying to get my thoughts back together here. I would say only this. Jazz, I call him Jazz, comes from an old school of writing. You know, the type of writing he has is the type of writing that you grow up, you know, in that area of India or Pakistan, you know, Bangladesh and Central Asia, and they come out, you know, this is the type of poetry that we don't, you know, hear from the West. You know, we're not aware much. We don't grow up with this type of poets and poetesses. And when we do come in contact with these type of writers who remind us to some certain extent of what the old type of writers, poets and poetesses were from that region, we really appreciate, you know, what he's doing. And Jazz, you know, regardless of, you know, of his condition, he always makes, you know, he doesn't always, you know, make it about him and about what he's going, you know, what is going on completely with his condition. He talks about things in general, and he always has a vision to his words. You can't not listen to him. You know, you can't listen to him and not read his writing and not be affected by it, because he brings, many times he brings the truth that sometimes we don't want to hear, we don't want to listen. And what I appreciate about his writing, and I'll finish here, is that it's always original. You know, he brings extraordinary metaphors. He has this way of writing I really appreciate it. And I always say I don't write really poems. I just write lyrics nowadays. But he does write serious poetry, and I always would recommend those who are interested on AP to read his poetry. You know, he's one of these types of poets that you would appreciate if you really do appreciate poetry. And I'll leave it at that.
That is an amazing comment, and you're dead on that. So let's get you going up with the poem I have here, which is Purple Kiss. So here we go.
Mi amor, your tulip lips are like the canvas on my painting, and my sensual strokes are like the brush of Picasso. Your kisses are my sultry satiety of profound pleasures, dripping like the maple syrup of a hot, seductive taste. Their surface enraptures me within the gentle shiver. The soft skin and warm kisses are my sweet nectar. Their shade are my pretty plums to suck their fluid juice. Their attraction seduces me to ungloss your sexy lipstick. The moonlight speaks a tempting tongue of sensuality. The night reveals the sparks of pheromones of purple fireflies. The moisture of the rain releases its erotic dew as a dance of sweat upon the exotic lips of the Tyrian purple sheets of our exploration. I want to sip from the wine and intoxicate me with its flavor, drench in the provocative texture, tickling me like tender paisley silk, and plunge deep into the ocean of my insatiable thirst tonight, satisfying the urge of my lips to refresh them in your lust. Behind the mystery of the Venetian velvet curtains, you are the forbidden fruit of my sinful Jezebel, the violet petals to my delicious desires undressed, with the tasty touch of your luscious lips in purple kiss. Oh, your kiss is a signature, igniting the notes of a piano. Pretty baby, take me with you upon the purple tide of passion. Don't have to be rich to be my girl. You don't have to be cool to rule my world. I just want your purple kiss to turn me on. Oh, I just want your purple kiss to turn me on. Mi amor, mi calor, oh la la. In the poem.
You don't have to be rich to be my girl. You don't have to be cool to rule my world. Ain't no particular sign I'm more compatible with. I just want your extra time and your...
Somebody's squeezing your balls, Jay.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this is an awesome job, Frank. I loved it. You know, me being from Minnesota, and of course, you know, one of our heroes is Prince. You know, has always been Prince, and I think that you did a wonderful job bringing that forward, tying in Paisley, which is the Prince's studio was Paisley Palace, and everything like that. So I think that you did an amazing job. Fantastic in your wording.
I appreciate
loved
that,
it.
Fred.
I loved it.
I have to admit one thing. I just wanted to say one thing here. I wrote this piece, and I added the music there, thinking of you as well. As far as I know, you're a big Prince fan as well, and I knew that when I gave this to Boo, a SoundCloud, I said in my mind, I know Jay is gonna. I just knew you were gonna sing the song there. So you made my night there. That was a great rendition there, my friend of Prince there. You made him proud tonight.
You did too, my friend. Verge, what do you think?
Wow. First things first, Frank. Go on with the Prince music in the background. I think that I was like, what's playing in the background? And I was like, I realised, because I was kind of half doing one thing and another. But then when I saw the Prince kiss, I was like, oh, okay. Anybody that writes a poem that has any connotation or relationship to Prince, you have my respect, full stop, because the man was a genius. This is very sensual, saucy. It made me think of the song Sexy MF, I'll say. But we know what MF meant, and it's like one of my favorite Prince tracks because it's so funky and just such a great way to deal with the subject of being sexy and this, that, the other. And I'm diverting away from the poem, but the poem was really very, very good and very entertaining, very well written. But it makes me think. I said this a couple of weeks ago that I was lucky enough to be one who saw him when he did the 28 shows in 28 days in London. And I was also lucky enough to have enough money at the time to be able to go to the after party, and he was on stage till 4 o'clock in the morning after having been on stage already for like 3 hours, for like however many hundreds of thousands of people it seemed like. I mean, it's crazy. So the poem reflects on a lot of very Prince-related things to me. It takes me right back to those days. And seeing him come on stage with a suit with a hood. I'd never seen anybody do that. I was like, what kind of man has a suit with a hood over his jacket? It was just crazy. But yes, Frank, absolutely fabulous. And as I say, anything that pays any kind of semblance of homage to Prince to me indicates that you are a deep individual, because Prince was anything but shallow. He was everything that connects to being deep, and purple is one of my favourite colours. So yeah, you get a massive thumbs up from me for this. Great job.
Well, I appreciate that, and I definitely have one more piece in mind to write, and it's going to be called Purple Passion. I myself did see Prince, but it was years, a scores year, and I was able to. I saw him in Europe as well. I believe it was in Portugal. It was in Oporto, and he was always impressive to me. And I saw him from afar with his stilettos, his style of shoes. But I was able to catch him. He was there for, I believe, a day and a half, and he was in trainers, which is very odd to see him.
Wow.
He was in trainers. And he's not. You see him at times. He doesn't. When he's in his studio. I mean, when he was, because he's not alive. But when he was in his studio, he was casual, a casual dresser. So, and I understand if Jay could probably concur with me that what I heard of stories, that those who are fortunate to see him would see him walk. Did he have a dog or something? They always said that he was always walking about in Minnesota somewhere around there, and sometimes he would be in his trainers.
Yeah, he was just he was just an ordinary Minnesotan. And he fit in so well with everybody here. There is actually a song called "The Minnesota Vikings" that he wrote for for the sports team. And people don't even realize that he was a huge fan of Minnesota sports, and he was a true Minnesotan.
Sorry, I have to dive in there as well quickly, guys, because that's so great that you bring that up, and it's like, I didn't know that. But here's the other crazy part of that. Firstly, the show. We met two women from Holland when we were in the queue for the after party. They come from Holland to see him, and it's like we couldn't get to see him in Holland. We had to get to see him, and it was just, and we ended up spending the entire night. And they gave us a lift home and everything. But it just goes to show you again the power of Prince's ability to connect people, which I think is also something people don't realise, that the man was really gifted,
universal,
at being able to touch. Yeah, absolutely, Boo. Just able to touch us all in such a unique way. But you also took me back, JC, to the great Dave Chappelle story.
Oh,
yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Who was it? Was it him, or was it him, right? Or Rick James that went?
Yeah,
Who was it that went and played? Rick James went and partied with him, and he said,
"No,
it was him, right? Or was it Eddie Murphy? One of them.
It was Prince.
No, it was Dave Chappelle.
No. When he said that he invited one of his guests to have a game of basketball.
Yeah.
And they were like,
"What
are you talking about?
Let's play some basketball."
And they were like,
Let's play
and
some
then Prince
basketball.
came out. And
Let's play
I
some
can't remember
basketball.
whether he came out in high heels or not, but the way the story
Yeah, it was great.
was like, he came out in high heels and he whooped their ass. It was like he could play basketball. So he was really into sport on a high, deep level, like you say, JC. I just wanted to add that in because I thought that was very relevant.
I believe he was he not a basketball player at one time? I mean, he was obviously he was very short there. Prince, I believe he was 5 feet, 5 foot.
Yeah, he's tiny.
I think I don't know, what was he, 5'4"? I think he was I go by centimeters, but is he 5'4" now? Or was?
I think like 5'5", maybe.
Yeah, and I heard on his article, Jay could probably concur with me, but I did read that he at one time played basketball. No, I mean, obviously, I don't know to what level he whether it was at the middle school or what do you call high school? Is it high school? Was it at that level?
He was.
Yeah.
I know Paisley Palace was built in Chanhassen, so I'm guessing that he grew up in Chanhassen, and he may have played it during that time. So that's a possibility.
Oh my God! He said he's 5'3". Wikipedia said he's 5'3".
There's a photo.
Wow, he's tiny.
I believe there's a photo of there's a photo of him. I believe it's an old photo with an afro. He had an afro, and I believe it was in the early 70s, I think. And I do believe that there is a photo of him actually playing. I mean, he didn't have. I'm not sure if he has a ball, but he had some type of uniform on, and what it suggests that he actually played, but I don't know to what level it was. But I do know that he was he started playing. He was an avid basketball player before he decided to go into music full time. But I think that was one of his passions before.
Yep, he did. And let me see, who did he play for? He played for Bryant in Central High, which I believe were in St.
Oh, there you
Paul.
go. There you go. I mean, I just have so much admiration for him that I know a little bit of those details.
Yeah, I think he played for Bryant Junior High School and Central High, which like I said, I believe they were in the Twin Cities. I believe it was in St. Paul. But that one picture you're seeing is his junior high school picture from Bryant Junior High. And
you're very lucky.
Definitely anybody could play basketball, so that's what was wonderful about that.
5'3", my God.
Yep.
I could bench press him.
And
well, I wouldn't say that much, you know. Height doesn't mean everything, you know. Height, you can be as tall as you can be, or small. You know, Prince himself was overpowering. Even at 3, he was overpowering.
And let's just finalise this. Prince was a musical giant. He was a musical giant. That really said it all.
Yeah.
And Raz, what do you think of Frank's poem?
Willie and Raz out there.
Yeah, there's definitely that throw off, how you start off with all those romantic words on who you're trying to convince into an act of lovemaking, and then it comes into a kind of a positive note at the ending where there's the repetition of the lyrics to the Prince song, and it's just kind of direction you weren't expecting from the beginning up to the end, that what there is of that purple kiss is very much of the symbol.
No, I agree. The contest, I mean, the poem was based on a contest here, which was on, basically it was based on a kiss. So I, you know, how much can you write about a kiss, you know, without going overboard to a certain extent? But this is what it was. I mean, it was inspired by Prince, of course, but it was inspired also for a contest here. So this was the reason why it centered on the lips.
What's a Jezebel, Frank?
Excellent.
What?
You don't know what Jezebel is?
I think I know, but I tell me, Frank.
Well, I called you once a sinful Jezebel once.
You told me before and told me, but you called me that. I know. Oh, that can't be good then. Can't be good.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, Boo. Boo, I'm going to let you comment. We don't need to worry about
Lord.
the Jezebel comment here. Go ahead.
Oh, Lord. Okay, well, Frank and I have a special bond when it comes to Prince and anything purple that deals with Prince and his music. So we both love him a lot, spoken about it a lot. And so you're right about how much can you write about a kiss without going overboard and making it sound nasty and disgusting, and we all hear that enough already. But this shows the love for your amour and also for Prince, I think. The canvas of your painting, I think, is nice. The tulip lips, and then, you know, your surface enraptures me with a gentle shiver, soft skin and warm. I mean, that's just beautiful. I mean, it just sounds like a good evening, you know what I mean? I'm going to be honest. Sensual, it's romantic, it's got Prince in there, purple. What more do you want? I thought you did an awesome job, Frank, and I like the music a lot, too. So,
the four words
there. Did you get
that
anything
you
in
see?
the contest?
No, it's not been rated. It's for Lou's contest. No, it's not been rated yet. But if you want to know what this poem really is centered on, it's centered on the four words. Just remember these words: purple tide of passion.
Purple tide of passion. Got it. Thank you, Frank.
There you go. That's everything Prince is about. All right, guys. We have been waiting for this for a while. This is part 5.
Is this your last one? I'll stay on. Is this the last one?
You'll want to, as long as this won't give you nightmares, Frank. Frank,
okay.
As long as this won't give you nightmares, we can do it.
Frank's not a puss.
No, I don't. You don't know me. I am the master of darkness there. So
yes, you are.
Trust me.
Well, this is part 5 of my horror.
Big boy pants on. Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, this is part.
I'll stay around. Go ahead.
Okay, this is part 5 of my horror series called "How I Feel About You."
No, okay.
Here we go.
That was a voice.
How I feel about you.
a horror series, part 5 by JCA. Found out how to stop your stench with formaldehyde. Hope you like your makeup. God only knows I tried. The hardest thing, your parts keep falling off your body every time I have a need and feel a little naughty. Dilemma when your arm fell off, sewed you up again. Know I have to change things up, but where do I begin? No, I must honor you in a special place, to be near your presence and kiss your fragile face. Yes, I'll put you in this rocker, dress you up like mother, go out in the streets again, and simply find another.
You know, I was kind of aroused until you mentioned your mother. Jay, that was... Oh, man.
Yep. We lost. I think I scared Boo so much she dropped. I don't know.
She was there. She was talking about being aroused, apparently, about by the mother line, wasn't she?
Oh,
I mean,
God.
what the royal fuck is going on there, mate? What? As I started speaking, I think I'll just comment quickly before anybody else does, if I may. I mean, Minnesota Psycho Mode, literally, that's where it went. It's just from prints and kisses and all the warmth to just what kind of people. You made a comment that disturbed me. Prince was like a very normal Minnesotan, you said. Well, explain then. Because he's a very normal Minnesotan, and this is a Minnesotan. I want to know what's wrong with you people over there in Minnesota. You need some help, seriously. I know that the Vikings, for certain, as a football team, brutal, vicious, all over the place. I can see Laughing Soul on the board. I'm like, Laughing, remember what you said about JC last week? Are you sure that you feel that way about him having heard this today? Because I'm changing my mind about JC as much as his schizophrenic character seems to do. But absolutely great ride, great performance, very entertaining. And I got the Psycho reference at the end, just was like, don't like that film, don't like that energy at all. So the effect was definitely complete. Well done, JC.
Thank you. Yeah, the series is walking in the feet of a serial killer, so that's what I was after. And Boo is back. Did I scare you, Boo? I don't know.
Oh, right. No, sorry. I don't know what happened. They keep doing that to me. I don't know if you heard it said, but anyway, I know it's like really short, but that was really creepy. I mean, I was onto it, so you mentioned your mother, and then I was like, but then you said shit just keeps falling off, like, unpredictably. I don't know because I'm on my phone tripping, but that was amusing and entertaining. That was really short, so it just left you like blank no more, so that was good. How many parts are there, Jay? I don't know.
So far there are 9, but I will add to it here shortly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was tricky. The voice freaks me out too, by the way. And the picture too. Yeah, good stuff, Jay. I'm scared tonight.
You should be scared.
Did I forget anybody? I'm like just sorry. I'm just done, and I don't know who.
Raz and Frank need to comment.
Frank.
All right,
sorry, Frank.
You want me or you want Raz to go before I go? You want Raz to go before?
I want you both. I'm greedy. Just kidding. Go ahead, Frank.
All right. Well, first of all, my friend, you do take me to I would say my days of acting, and I remember a friend of mine who was a tremendous actor. He always used to have a way of making everything seem. Some would say, he overacted, but I don't think it was. I think he always made things seem relatable. Regardless of the character that he was always performing, whether it's somewhere, character from Shakespeare, whether it's drama, whether it's comedy, etc., he always got into the role, and he always knew how to do the role, perfect it. And he always said to me that the repetition is the key. That the more you do, and the more you do renditions, and the more you do characters, you find yourself comfortable with doing characters. So when you get to that level, like you, where you're comfortable with the character already, you've done the series. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you said you've done. I heard the other day, one of yours. So this is a series, right?
Yes, this is part 5 of it so far.
And I would say that this is. I could tell you're with the character itself. As far as branching off to do, adding on to the character, I think the character was right. I mean, I'm just wondering, why is it so brief? Is it because you're doing you're doing a series, right?
Yeah, I'm doing a series, and that's why it's kind of brief. It's the I'm restricted in some of the poems that I write here, so. I'm doing it in the prefaces of All Poetry as well. Sometimes I'm entering them in some contests, but ultimately I want to kind of create a step by step here and present this in the different ways and how he escalates and where he comes from, and just trying to kind of step into, when you read about a serial killer, and I've written about several, you see where they came from and how they escalated and their crimes eventually becoming so used to what they do, they become sloppy, and that's how they move forward. And that's kind of what I'm doing here, is I'm kind of presenting this in a way where it's a progression of who he is and a progression of what he has become. This is a total fictional, but it is sometimes based off of different characteristics of actual serial killers themselves. So taking more inspiration from them than anything else.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing there, Jay. It's not easy to do this type of. People don't realize that acting is not an easy thing. You have to have experience. You have to have proficiency as well. Anyone can do a voiceover. I think you have talent, I would say, to do voice acting like I do. Just get to an agency and into a studio, and you'd be very active at that. But I think what I'm trying to say here in this piece here, in this character, is you have to have the mindset to get into a character, even though you would think of a character like this to be someone who's very much unhinged. It doesn't necessarily mean you're unhinged. People get thrown back when they hear this. And, it happens with me as well. They think that, that you are a character, and that's where you determine that's fiction from non-fiction, reality from fantasy. In this case here, you just get into the character. You do it very well, and not many people can do that, on a consistent level. And I think you have something here to do. I would love to hear another. I know you said you have a series. Do you do other types of horror? If I can ask, do you have other pieces of SoundClouds that you do character as well?
Yeah, I've had. I do several of the Batman villains.
Oh
and
my
so
God!
I've got
the Joker and the Penguin.
I've got the Joker, the Penguin, the Riddler, and Two-Face.
Can you do the Penguin? Can you do the Penguin real quick for the boss?
No, but we're kind of running out on time, so I'm trying to get everybody.
Okay, I just want to say one thing about that, Frank. Can I just say one thing, Jay, really quick? That I always tell JCA that he missed out on his calling. He's a natural at this DJ thing, at this radio thing. He makes it look easy, makes it look smooth. It is not. And he missed his calling. I always tell him that he's great at it. In my opinion, the best host on Blog Talk that we have. Just my opinion. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Boo. Thank you, Frank.
I'm gonna let you both go. I know you've got to continue the show, and it's getting late here. I got in the morning here. So I'll let you continue the show there. It's, I don't know who else is left, but take care, my friends.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Frank.
Take care. More power to you, Frank.
Later, Frank.
And one last thing, Raz. I'll see you over there tomorrow there at Stevens in K's. I
see you
it's
there.
The Children of the Corn, so I brought a rendition over there. Trust me, it is a rendition there. I'll see you over there.
Yeah, I don't think I can get out of that morgue. I keep on showing up every Monday night.
Jay's got him tied up.
I brought a performance for you tomorrow there, Children of the Corn, so you'll hear me acting there. Take care.
Oh. All right, see you tomorrow, Frank.
Take care. And the Butchers.
And the Butchers. Purple Buenos Noches, I should have said.
Was it my turn to comment?
Yes.
I don't know. Where'd Jay go?
Yes. No, you had Boo.
Yeah.
You had the mic, Boo. Supposed to ask Red.
Oh, that's tripping. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to give you props, Jay, because I don't know if I've ever said that. And it's not easy. You make it look easy, and you're good at it. So. I'll shut up now. You can go.
All right. Go ahead, Red.
I heard the background of this whole piece you're working on, which is definitely one worth reading if you're throwing in the different characteristics of a serial killer. That's known as pathology. So you bore that in mind with this character you're creating is at least all that more semi-realistic than just making one up, of which you could come up with only stereotypes from a horror movie or invent what you find from incidents on the news. And one thing I do not understand about all these serial killers, they're not obsessed, each one with one's grandma, but there are certain that have those kinds of deviations of the norm, you know, that you don't have anyone who can respect what we know to be customary law because they suffer from a disorder which is sociopathic and which no one's going to think of sodomizing or violating an old woman like someone's grandma. But when it comes to these serial killers, they're without any boundaries or laws.
That's a great point. Great point. All right. Let's push forward, folks. And we're going to play. I think it's time for a little verge here. So let's kick the verge in. Here we go.
The politics of things. You know, the politics of things affects how we live and is full of tricks and things that sting the average Joe trying to make a living because it's corporate kings who have strong links to these political leaders, deceivers and schemers whose teams and schemes move like dodgy car dealers, dealing in meanness and movements increasing societal bleakness. So what does it mean to be a conservative? Well, these days I think that it's hard to believe in conservative peeps whose conservative views seem a little askew when you look at the things that they now conclude as being cool. Same-sex type visions, once placed on restriction, are now being seen on our televisions by tomorrow's teens and very young children, while conservatism's clearly linked to racism. Believe Trump ain't kidding when views he'd be spitting leaves immigrants seeing no respect for their being. Republicans thinking has things now linking themselves to Democrats who, when you backtrack, have thinking that sat on political tracks not so far removed from those now in view.
Political coups are used to confuse, so who do you choose? Liberal, Republican, or Democrat? It's time people realize that they're from the same pack, where Jack ain't black. But now, of course, political skins have changed a little bit. In a time where the right is on the rise, you'll find dark skins now sitting with today's fascists as if their links will stop racist things. Well, just look at the Brits. Black folks seem stunned when immigrants from the ship Windrush face being treated as if they didn't exist, so were told to go home because they're not British. These black politicians did exactly what? Well, about as much as a Ku Klux Klan whose United Kingdom treats blacks like scum, running their gums after deals have been done as if their words could reverse the hurt that their colleagues inflicted on innocent victims. But that's the politics of things. Right across Europe, even to Brazil, where right-wing vibes are starting to chill the minds of tribes who thought goodwill was part of life on foreign coastlines. But colonial types still ride waves high and still don't like to see migrant types living by their side, especially when they're doing all right and actually have more than the whites, who be acting like all we've done is increase crime and have a negative impact on their lives. One has to wonder, why? Are they crazy? Or maybe they're mentally lazy and physically too, to still hold views that politicians use to keep the fools away from the truth that their politics only serves the few. Yep, they and their friends at the masses' expense, because political figures are basically tricksters like builders whose fixtures fall apart with quickness. So let me now end this by saying politicians are the ones who spread sickness because of their business that deals in corruption and separatist functions that define how low they're willing to go to retain control of what they enlist that we need to dismiss, which is simply this: the politics of things.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. I agree. I've been saying for years that there's no difference between the political parties. It's just one of them is light and one of them's heavy, but they all are striving to do the same damn thing, which is try to keep everybody down, fear everybody else, and try to split up the world. It's fear and division. And I absolutely love this because it's so much truth in speak, and people have a tough time hearing the truth. Awesome job, Verge. I loved it. I absolutely love this.
Thank you.
Raz, talk to me.
Yeah, this is all you hear on the news, what there is of the differences with the right-wingers and the left-wingers, until it becomes a little bit clearer that the majority of people, they can't be divided into either term, a left-wing or a right-wing or a liberal. They're just people.
Awesome. And Boo, you get the last say on this. The button, Boo. The button.
The button, Boo. The button.
She's the new Linda, right? She's the new Linda.
Oh, Lord. Well, I won't say what I always say, because I would say the same thing about words, but the politics are the reason. I mean, so much of what's going on, especially for the COVID and the whole economical thing. That's one thing that this show that does for me. I get to meet people around the world, around the country, and other places, and I get to see that it's not just fucked up here. It's everywhere. I don't know if it's humanity. I don't know if it's politics. Maybe it's a mixture of both. But yeah, it seems to be pretty bad, and you're just bringing it to the forefront in your own poetic way. And I will say that I listened to your album today on Apple, and it was really great. And this is just an extension of that, I think, of your talent and your voice that's unique and all your own. I respect the music. I love music and the beat and your voice. And it's serious, poetic, and it's all you. Like, I wouldn't even need to know who wrote this. I already know that you wrote it, and it's fantastic. And I say keep being you. I liked it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, and appreciation of the listening to the album, because it's definitely an interesting one and a well-produced one. So thanks, I appreciate that. Thanks, JC, as well, and thanks, Lad. Yeah, very, just a very real piece about, and it's funny because it was written before COVID, right? So it's like nothing's really changing, unfortunately. And if it is changing, it's changing for the worse, not for the better. So I just hope that we can find a way to reject the politics of things, as said in the poem.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say something really quick about the politics, if I could. The things are so bad where I work. This is a true story. That I had somebody that needed a sling, and we didn't have any, so I had to use my own shirt. And I was just thinking, wow, this sucks. Like, we really don't have any supplies or anything. This is like, does anyone care? Is anyone going to do anything about it? And she was like, why did you do that? And I was like, well, because we don't have anything. So you need it. Here it is. I provided it, you know. But that's pretty jacked up.
Yeah, no, it's true, Diana. It's true, Boo, that the vibe is very, I'm hearing it from so many quarters at the moment, and it is very disturbing. That's why it's been such a great night poetically on the show, because of the poems like Raz, Joe, as I said, and Jas that are showing us that, listen, man, people are really, really going through a lot at the moment, man, and we do need to be trying to be as supportive as we can for one another, because these people in power do not give a damn. And there are lots of people who are just falling in line and not even thinking about what they're signing up to. And I'm not suggesting that vaccines are wrong or anything like that. What I'm saying is a little thought and a little, acknowledgement of the fact that not everything that is being spouted to you is the truth might help us all right back. We need to be a little thoughtful. That's all I'm saying.
Take it back.
Excellent conversation, folks. All right, I'm trying to get at least 2 more poems in. If we miss any poems today, we're going to bring them to our house on Wednesday. And we do thank everybody for writing for us. Right now, I'm going to bring in another audio, and this is Laughing Soul, who's out on the board. Great to see her out there, and this is called Desire People.
Right
Hi,
on.
G.
Let's go, Laughing.
Here
comes a sweet voice.
Desires Veiled, a poem by Laughing Soul. I wish you'd see behind the veil, a smile so elusive, a heart so frail. All along the starlit sky, a whisper divine, a cosmic tie. Barefoot stroll, memories pale, arousing a benumbed celestial tale. All along, nectar dulcet, love engraved in a bosom scarlet. I wish you see beyond the tale, a castle of skulls, hollow and veil. All along a shore forevermore, ambrosial showers on a forsaken moor. Withered blooms dance on graves, dwelled where once moonlit days. I wish you see a moonstone quail, I wish you hear the morning gale. I wish the daffodils lead you astray, where reveries nostalgic solemnly sway, where reveries nostalgic solemnly sway. End poem.
That's passion, people.
Yeah, this has so much emotion behind it. There's a sadness and a romanticism and a yearning that flows behind this. That picture is so trippy with the skulls in the hair and bleeding down to the rose, and the whole piece. You can feel the pain within it. It's like the loss of a grave, of a death. There is a word bank behind this, and she does such a great job with this word bank and with the picture itself. I think she did a magnificent job with this. Raz,
yeah,
I'm
Jay,
going to start
let me
with
say something. Me.
Okay, Boo. you. Go ahead.
I think that this is what I think maybe that's you guys. Well, everyone has a different interpretation, okay? But I think she's saying the pain of yearning, and I can relate, is so aching and so deep sometimes that it does just fucking you feel like you're broken. It's that bad, and wanting something so bad, it eats you up, and it starts. It's just like you get to the point where enough's enough already. I think. I mean, although her voice sounded so beautiful, I just closed my eyes and listened to it. I could have listened to her read like 1,000 more pages. It was beautiful, full of yearning, longing, love, lust, poetry, everything you can imagine. And I get it, I feel it, and I loved it. That's all.
Raz, what do you think?
Yeah, there's plenty here of the poet speaking in honesty of all the beauty there is to the world that anyone can block out on a regular basis. Those ending stanzas, I wish you see a moonstone quail, I wish you hear the morning gale, I wish the daffodils lead you astray, reveries nostalgic solemnly sway. And this is very realistic that we block out any such details on a regular basis. It's our own form of cognitive bias. And what there is with the poet and poetry, if you take it past the point of being a metaphorical language into the realities of nature, then there's much to say of what's obscured from normal sight that otherwise might enlighten one to some form of cosmic phenomenon, why any such nature exists here now.
Great comment. And Verge, what do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be quite brief. We've all kind of said a lot of cool things about this poem, and I can't really say much more. But what I do hear, and I have to say there's a reason Boo is me, because it has a lot, it reminds me of the way Boo writes, and also Salwa too. Hello Salwa, wherever you are. So I don't know, it clearly would resonate. I don't know, I mean, it's hard to say, men will relate to it too, but I sense a very feminine beauty in it, a feminine kind of emotiveness in it, and a real kind of yearning for appreciation and love. I like the opening line. I really do. I wish you'd see behind the veil, which I think if you spoke to a lot of women about whoever it is that they love, like if, in my case, like men, hopefully, that there's a lot of instances where women don't necessarily make it that clear to the man that they want, but that they want them to want them. And therefore that veil is what they're hiding.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, it's very, there's a veil that women are hiding behind that they want the guy to almost pull off, and it's like sometimes it's not so easy to look behind the veil from the outside looking in, and I think that's what I would say to Laughing and to any woman out there that feels this way about the thing that they want, be it a job, be it whatever. It's like sometimes you've got to pull the veil off yourself and reveal who you are to receive that love. But beautiful piece, nonetheless.
Are you saying that we need to tell men straight up what we want, Verge? Is that what you're saying?
I think a lot of guys would appreciate it. I'm not saying that every man will appreciate that, but I think
I agree with that.
If we're honest, particularly as we're in a time, like just quickly, I know JC, you've got another poem, but just quickly, I've got a friend of mine who's in that situation with a woman that he met, and I said to him, but he met her on a dating site, which is whatever it is that writes those poems, those great poems about Dave, but and I said to him, listen, you need to just tell her. And when he did, he got what he wanted, but at the same token, there is a danger with that, because sometimes it can be overwhelming for whoever's receiving that like, yeah, I want you. And you have to be able to go beyond just, yeah, I'm letting you know I want you, and then getting into the depth of communication and how that then should evolve and make the relationship powerful or strong, or make you realize that, no, we're not actually communicating beyond the veil anymore. Now that the veil's off, I'm not liking
so much. Hey, it's honesty. What a concept, right?
You know, yeah, honesty. And particularly in relationships, it's like people think it's a bomb to be honest in a relationship, and it's not. It really isn't. Sometimes it works for your
in
best.
my independent research, I've realized that most men like the straight up approach. You know?
Well, I don't know what kind of research you've been doing, but hey.
There you go.
In my Jezebel research.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but we're not even going to go there. We won't go there. We won't go there. Yeah, we're not going to go there. Okay, we got just over 3 minutes before we cut out from the people.
Okay, Rusty.
On the audience out on the web. So I want to give my thanks first. Thanks Dave, Wayne, Rack, Headshot, Becky, Raz, Verge, Frank, all for calling. Azakel, Marius, Angel, Jesk, and Soul out on the board. The people who are listening in, we thank you guys so much and appreciate all you guys tremendously from around the world. And like I said, the ones we do not read tonight, we are going to go ahead and have them on our house Wednesday at noon. Do not miss that, because that is going to be a spot-on, excellent show. And I want to thank Boo for all she does, because we wouldn't be here without her. And with that, we're going to put up Rob's poem to end the show, and here we go.
There you go.
Four-leaf clover lover.
Read all the messages I get.
Makushla, 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 floating on cloudy ballads in folk harmony. Bagorda, 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 rapturous tabletop eruptions make a believer out of me. Rhythmically we bang the Tibba song out of the bottom of the bog, hop, hop, onto the top, tip of the Glendallow Towers, the summit of soft lanternless interludes, where her hips lie between my thighs, like the classic harp held in my arms, and running rhythmic fingers over her sweet strung lines, strumming sweet melodies. With pursed lips she blows, Ilian pipes and cultic horns explode under jagged cantilated breaths, composing dancing Gaelic symphonies. Tessellated triskelion triangles, eyes interlocked as I gaze into those flickering windows, fusing sea green and cerulean blue, leaving me with an imprinted view. Our legs crisscross in a knotted maze, as fingers fankle in a river dance of passion, with their skin glowing in the lantern light, softer than a porcelain clover, inviting lips rafting along those white water rapids, where she flows like a whiskey river, gushing with intoxicating force. Harboured in Clado shores, bound by unbroken sterling, as found in western Galway, where a shrine is risen on my pages, and the iron-tipped spears, ripped from the highlands, captivated as it was written in the annals of Ulster. Four-leaf lassie drown in the shamrock under my ale waterfall, where I stew in your Irish feast. Let us celebrate the saintly day under rainbows of serpentless fortune, soaked in serene gold-flushed days. A wave of yet more tender joy escapes from my heart, and when coursing in warm floods along my arteries, like the tender fires of stars, moments of their life together, that no one knew of, or ever would know of, broke upon his illumined memory.
What happened to Jay? I'm like,
Jay, what's going on, dude? You disappeared.
Jay's stewing in the Irish
Too hot for you? Is it too hot for you, Jay?
Oh my goodness! I need a moment.
Yeah, I figured you.
Okay. Wow. All right, Raz, help me. Raz.
Oh, I didn't realize I was on mute. What I was trying to say is Abu Abu, which is an Irish war call. There you go.
Okay.
Holy Lord.
This was quite the piece.
I'm sweating.
How he tied in and wove in the Irish throughout this piece is absolutely phenomenal. Great grabbing a hold of that all over the place.
Grab a hold of it.
Raz, I'm going to let you have the first say on this.
While I see that the whole theme was on St. Patrick's Day and the four-leaf clover, what there was as a prompt is an epilogue from James Joyce to Dubliners, and so I pondered on that angle and thought that he brought life to the coastline of the Irish shores with the words he had chosen so finely to craft of what there is tradition and that hope of feasting upon Saint's Day there.
And Verge.
Well, I have to say, for a change, I really like this piece in terms of just the tone and the speed with which he delivered it. Also, that the language, as usual, was exceptional. There's a certain Irish person that clearly this is about, so I hope she's okay, because that's some very hot speak about what was it? There was a point about her thighs being between my legs and stuff. I'm like, ooh, somebody's in a very saucy hot mood, aren't they? I don't know what else to say apart from, man, that's a love poem if ever there was one, people. It's not your standard language or your standard way of conveying that love, but believe me, that is very, very, very hot in terms of the person who it is aimed for, and I'm sure she is suitably enamored with what has been written. Great job, Rob. Good rendition. Right and vocal.
And Boo, what did you think?
Oh, I hate it. It's terrible. It's terrible. No. It's beautiful and hot. I mean, and the Irish thing. What a lucky Irish girl there is for this one. And I mean, just the wording and the whole thing is passionate, full of heat, and he's feasting and the flavor and the sauce. I don't even know. I don't even care. But I thought it was loving, full of love too, and emotion, and so that's that. I liked it.
I'm sorry. I have to just add. Sorry, Boo. I've just seen Bella's left the line in, so I'm just going to read it just for the person out there who happens to, be the person that he's writing about. Her hips lie between my thighs like a classic harp held in my arms, running rhythmic fingers over her sweet, strung lines, strumming sweet melodies. I have nothing further to add. Continue, Jason.
I got 2 mics in the microphone. Where it's at.
Sign me up.
All right.
Oh, I'm shutting up now.
Okay, we are ending on this note, folks. And with that, we're going to put a little boo piano in. And I haven't heard this one yet, Boo, so I want to go ahead and play that.
Oh, it's new.
No.
It's a new one.
No, I think it's a new one you put in there, so I'm looking at it. It's a little. It's the Adele. I didn't hear that one, so I'm kind of excited about it.
This is a new one. Bye. Thank you, everybody.
All right. With that, we're calling it a night and putting a little boo in. Here we go.
Thanks Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks, JC.
JCA. This is Adele, I think.
Yes,
Good
it
night,
is
Bed
Adele.
Bug.
Yeah, this is amazing. Hope you like it.
sometimes find the fear of what could happen is making nothing happen.
All right. And with that, we want to thank everybody who showed up to the show. This is has been Open Poetry, and this is JCA signing off. Thank you.